in front of a big crowd here at Princes Park. It's a glorious afternoon, and shortly they'll be moving to the centre of the arena for the national anthem. We might take a look at the lineups, and we'll have a look at Springvale first up. And this team includes 12 players from that 1987 Premiership side. They've named an unchanged team this afternoon. The unlucky interchange players named in the press to miss out from the 5, Jeff Clark, King and Morgan won't be playing this afternoon. Well, their coach is Phil Malin. He's played in 2 grand finals for Carlton in the early 80s. He knows this ground pretty well. And while Springvale start favourites today, Malin is well aware of Williamstown's strengths.
Well, I think they have some very good running backs, and we're going to have to really be fired up to contain those sorts of players, and obviously Barry Round's an asset to them. You know, I'm hoping that Simon Clark can do the job there. And up forward they've got, you know, Rickman, Mornay and those sorts of players who also are very dangerous. Williamstown overall are a very good side, and that's the reason why they're in the grand final. And we're also a very good side, so we're hoping that our players can match up their players pretty well.
Well, here's the team they'll have to match up with. Williamstown have retained 7 players from that last successful 1986 Premiership side. They've lost the last 2 grand finals, however. They've made a few changes. The interchange men to miss out are Willis and Miles. Gould and Sleverson go onto the bench to allow the veteran Bill Swan to start in the centre. This is his 7th grand final, and most likely his last game of VFA football today. Burton will go to the half-back flank. That's his accustomed position. Howlett and Aziz will swap from centre half-back and centre half forward. Well, much has been made of the pivotal ruck duel between Barry Round and Simon Clark. Does the Williamstown captain-coach feel that's where the game will be won?
Well, I think the centre square, whether it's the ruckman or the centreman or ruck rovers that get it out, is always a key to the game, and I think that'll probably have a big bearing on it. But you know, I think if you see one ruckman dominate a game, it probably that side wins. But if they both, you know, do their job, both can still play well, and it's still anyone's game, so it doesn't all revolve around that.
Well, Barry Round being low-key earlier in the week, and in fact their rooms were quite jovial prior to the game, as is Williamstown's style. But a difference with last year is they're quietly confident. They're not overconfident, cocky almost they were before the 1989 grand final, and of course Coburg showed them the way. Springvale, their rooms much quieter, very businesslike under Shark Malin, who took over at the club in 1987, and straight away they won the VFA Premiership in First Division, having come up to First Division in 1983. So a short but proud history for the Vales. And Malin just looking a little toey, as were all players naturally before the biggest game of the season. The Dandenong Marching Band in the background will play the national anthem. Field umpires today, John Russo and Brian Bullis, for the main Nicholas Cup for 1990. Williamstown being brought over to take up their position. A little reluctant to do so. The reluctance will cease when the bounce takes place in a few minutes' time. Darren James is the MC this afternoon. Here's the Dandenong Marching Band. that remains to do to get the sides to take up their positions is the toss of the coin, and one of the greats of our game, the sixth longest serving coach in VFA history. He coached Port Melbourne for 6 years, Sandringham for 1. Tom Layoff will toss the coin this afternoon. Barry Round and Craig Mead shake hands.
$5 free.
Visitor score?
First in calling.
Yeah,
visitor score.
Yeah, right.
Really? You
Okay,
calling?
yeah, I'll have a head, mate. Here it is. Okay, we'll go up this way.
Good luck, boys.
Barry Round's won the toss. It's heads and he's kicking to the Heatley stand end.
Ross Booth is our man down at ground level, and we would feel that that's kicking against the breeze. So we'll get a report from Ross on that very shortly. An unusual move, but it's time to welcome and introduce to you my fellow commentators this afternoon. As usual, Sam Kekovich is in the box with me, but we're very pleased to have with us, he mightn't be so happy about it, Phil Cleary, who's coached Coburg to the last 2 premierships. Good afternoon, gents.
Good afternoon, Peter. Philip, good to see you back here.
Yes, well, it's with mixed feelings, I suppose, Sam, but I'll take some solace from actually being able to call the grand final, which will be very nice.
Well, you know what it feels like down there. Williamstown have been beaten by you the last 2 years. They've got heaps of incentive today.
Yes, they'll certainly be revved up, Peter. To lose 2 in a row is a bit of a nightmare, really, and to come in with your third, with the chance of really doing something big like winning a premiership, they really have got so much at stake, and they'll be pulling out all the stops, I'm sure, today. I think they're better balanced than last year. Burton back in the side makes a lot of difference. He's such a good runner. And the other factor is it's a calm day. Last year was a terrible northerly breeze, which I think helped our defensive game, and that's where I think the game will be won today. The side that mans up the best and plays the more defensive game, I think, will win, because both sides are very attacking football teams.
Well, will the first 15 minutes of the game decide it? One feels that if Williamstown can stay with Springvale, who have a height, a weight, an age advantage, then they'll be in with a chance. But if Springvale can jump out of the blocks, it'll be difficult for Williamstown.
I agree, Peter. Tensions are always high. You know, at the beginning of a grand final, there's an added charge of adrenaline running through players. There's a tendency for mistakes to be made. Invariably, the side that settles down first, you know, has got an enormous advantage. But I just feel Williamstown are in with a real chance today. Obviously, humility they've experienced over the preceding 2 years will hold them in good stead. I think they've steeled a heck of a lot, and I believe that the catalyst for their success during the finals, their big man dominance, won't be as pronounced today because of Barry Round's ability to negate Simon Clark.
Well, are you willing to tip Williamstown?
I am, yes. Williamstown for me.
Sam?
Well, I'm tipping Springvale, but I reckon by less than a goal.
OK, let's go down to Ross Booth. What about that wind, Ross?
Well, Peter's a gentle northeasterly blowing to the right of screen, the Robert Heatley stand, so Williamstown will have that advantage. But I can tell you it's very warm, and I think fitness might play a part in this match. Williamstown very confident. I heard you before saying they weren't cocky. Springvale very quiet but serious.
So Raw splits the air here at Princes Park, and we're underway. John Russo puts it down. And it's Clark who wins the first tap, charging through Wayne Michelli. Bomb forward by Jack Aziz, and Smith takes the mark. Rickman just lets him know he's there, but Rickman had got a little bit away. Now Swan pumps it back. Nichols also there. The mark's taken by Jeffs. One of 4 Liston medalists this season, Simon Nicholl. And intercepting, it's Grant Smith.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
And it started.
Take the kick.
Simon Clark involved there.
The ball's in, Jack.
Greg Mine at number 4 on the bottom of it all.
The next one is like
But I think you'll find that Grant Smith has the mark.
Head in the ground.
He intercepted beautifully. The target was Craig Mead from the short kick from Nicholl.
Mark's here.
Well, that's the thing, Peter, too, with, as Sam pointed out, mistakes early in the game. That kick should never have gone to Smith from Nicholl. It's a bad choice. And it's let Williamstown with a chance to get a very important goal and settle them down.
That's it, Phil.
Well, Smith is going to be a vital player this afternoon. He's had a groin operation in the off-season after a disappointing grand final last year. He is looking very fit, and how will he want this one? Not the start they would have looked for, but he might be just feeling that one early on. You're going to have to win them and wear them, Sam.
Yes, Peter, but I think it's an excellent start for Williamstown. Here we see it on screen. Courageous mark and an indiscretion by Clark. But a couple of good signs for Williamstown. Michelli running through the centre bounce, getting a touch, and Smith getting a possession early.
Morney playing in his first grand final today, Bruce Morney. He's been a second or third string forward, but he's in this afternoon. Good shepherding there from Dwyer, allowed Coop to put it to the wing, but Burton's taken the mark, and Malin makes him aware of his presence. Chris Burton towards Barry Round. And Round jumps in on Clark there, and it's holding the ball. Well, the umpires have put their mark on it early on too, and Clark's a little bit frustrated. Very open Williamstown forward line. Morney against Mead. Good knock on. Jorgensen couldn't take it with him. Rickman, beautiful bump. O'Connor.
That was a superb hip and shoulder by Rickman, Phil, wasn't it?
Oh, the ice lit up there, Sam, didn't they?
My word. There's a lot being said, Phil, about the extended layoff that Springvale have had. As we saw with Essendon, they've suffered, and it has taken a while for them to settle down.
That was Rickman over the top. So 2 behind scored by Williamstown in the opening 2 3/4 minutes of play.
And she's ferocious too, Peter. There's no doubt about that. Everyone wants to get hold of that football early in the game.
Well, Ross Booth is just taking up his position, and interesting, his reading of the breeze at ground level is it favours the Heatley stand end. All the flags from up here favouring the end to which Springvale are going. The scoreboard end as Atkins takes it from Clark and then wears one high from O'Connor. Marcus O'Connor playing in his first grand final. That was a little bit silly on the experienced VFL player Atkins. Doug Coop likewise. He's taken the ball after the very high arm from O'Connor, and now it's with Prosser. The goal sneak from 50. So both sides inaccurate early on, but Ross, we've seen a lot of long goals kicked at this scoreboard end, and yet down at ground level you feel the breeze is going with Williamstown.
Well, I think it's a bit fluky, Peter, and perhaps directly across the ground. Simon Lloyd, the fullback, gets some space. Half back flag out of side. Going in short, McTaggart. Ball pressure from Dudley is good. Burton has to kick under pressure. Pastore loose on centre wing. There is Jeffs with a new colour in his hair. The kick up to Aziz. Spilt the mark. It's been paid. Rickman looking for a short. There's one instead. Barry Round inside 50.
Looking sharp, Phil, aren't they? Moving the ball very quickly.
Running it to the Burton from back flank. Long kick of the football. Into the square. From the back, Smith. Couldn't bring it down. And forcing it through was Mead, the captain. So it's a fast opening. There's Craig Mead, the captain. Phil Malin is just coach. Craig Mead, the captain.
Just run.
Springvale break from their huddle, and Simon Clark takes advantage of the pass from Smith. A little bit of a slip there. We noticed that in the curtain raises. The top just a little bit greasy. Don't really know why. Jorgensen pushing the ball along in front of him with skill. Rickman against Smith. That's going to be a terrific battle there.
Yes. Consistent umpiring there by Bullis. Lying on the ball, Rickman.
And the free kick going to Atkins. So pressure on early minutes of the first quarter. Fisted from behind by Howlett. McTaggart's loose, roving the pack well. Tackle on him by Peacock. Malin shows strength. Flips out the hand pass to Dempster, the 35-year-old. Inside 50, but wide. Robinson's there with him, Lloyd. Lloyd tried to keep that in, which was a bit strange for the fullback.
I noticed on the kick out too, Ross, that Simon Lloyd, the fullback, didn't take the kick but ran to receive. So he's obviously going to run Robinson around today, which is a good move.
Former South Melbourne teammates, Dempster and Round, doing battle. And we're still without a major score.
Just thinking, Phil, the wide open spaces of Carlton really present itself to players that are prepared to work, because there can be plenty of possessions gathered if you want to really work and slot yourself into a hole.
Lloyd. Good length of the kick in. Michelli. Maloney caught. No time to get rid of it on that occasion, says umpire Russo. Crowd held their breath after the initial calls.
Well, they're a pretty noisy crowd too, Peter. Plenty of roars in the first 5 minutes.
Well, isn't it a wonderful crowd in attendance?
Great.
I reckon it's going to be hotter than 21 too inside this stadium. Smith, Maloney comes through. Peacock on the ball, 33. O'Connor takes it over. Marcus O'Connor, who had to leave the ground in the prelim with a thigh injury, but he shows no sign of that trouble. The Rover. Round in ruck with Dempster. Getting one high was Coop. Oh, and he's penalised. That's tough.
Excellent decision, that, Roscoe. Excellent decision. Yes, there's a 50.
And you just cannot afford to make mistakes like that, to give away a 50-metre penalty when the game is as tight as it is at this point in time.
Malin Atkins on the mark with umpire Russo at the 50-metre line. Nerves getting to everyone. O'Connor.
He was going for the shortcut home, Ross, I think. And why shouldn't he?
Now the lead is from Morney. He's at the back. Rickman. Can he find goal space? Minot under pressure. The shot is great from Greg Minot. First score to Williamstown. And Princess Park is alight.
And what a superb goal, Roscoe. Have a look at the Williamstown faithful, absolutely in raptures. And what a superb goal by Minot. He played a superb game in that preliminary final. And Rickman did very well. Great vision, tremendous option. And Minot, what a superb snap, Phil, under pressure.
Yes, Sam. Ian Rickman has improved his football. We see the goal there, but Rickman's handball's just a beautiful piece of work. He knows where he's going, over the top, spot on to Minot, and Minot, a very dangerous player.
Charging through Michelli. We saw that right from the first bounce. They're really under pressure for Springvale. It's Grant Smith for Williamstown, and Rickman judged that to a nicety.
That's that centre bounce area we're talking about, Phil. If Brown can negate Clark and give them equal distribution of the ball, I think Williamstown with a very big chance. And Michelli running through. I think that's a ploy, his strength. You like him, Ross, don't you?
Derby Bird.
I pointed him out to you 8 weeks ago.
Ian Rickman for goal number 50 this season from just 12 games.
Ooh.
The second major for the Seagulls.
Well, you wouldn't see a finer pull forward with the kicking ability that Ian Rickman possesses, Phil, would you, in the land?
No, and he receives so many kicks like that. I've talked about it many times, a chip pass on 50. But you know the thing about Williamstown, Sam, they are playing the game much harder today. I think in the previous couple of finals, they're really attacking the ball, and their pressure is making all the difference.
Ian Rickman has not played in a losing Willie side this year since coming back from Footscray. Smith, and now Prosser. Johansson under pressure, tackled late, and winning the free kick is Stephen, not Stefan Johansson.
His pace will be valuable as the day wears on. He's got blistering pace, this young kid.
Aziz makes a lead at centre forward. Too high, Nickel. One of 4 Liston medalists at centre half back. Dudley's led out wide to forward flank. He's at the back, nudges McTaggart aside, and McTaggart gets the free.
Advantage is played. Swan to these open spaces on the wings at Princes Park. And it's going to be interesting today, Phil, a bigger ground than any of these teams play on normally, how that's going to affect things come the last quarter.
And Phil Marlin wasn't happy with Stuart Nickel. He should have chipped the ball out to him and let them run it, but he chose the long kick and it didn't work.
He runs onto the round handball. It's Marcus O'Connor. Flips the ball up for Jack Aziz. Lead from Rickman. The squaring kick. Johansson dropping in. Sells the dummy. Bouncing it to Minot. Number 2. Number 3 for Williamstown. Without answer from Springvale.
Well, they are playing magnificently, Phil, but I just can't help but feel the extended layoff is obviously not the ideal preparation for a grand final for Springvale, having match practice in between. They are really suffering that real hardness in attacking the ball.
Yes, Sam, and their percentages are not good. You must settle down and use the ball carefully in a grand final, and they're not doing that, whereas Williamstown are looking really sharp.
In round 15, Williamstown kicked the first 7 goals, but Springvale got up to win by 8 points. Minot. He's kicked 2. Through comes Mead, the tough defender. Over to Prosser. The kick again under pressure. Howlett in good position. Out
those spaces, Ross.
And in the space is Bill Swan, former Port player. Good kick of the footy out in front of Michele. With him is Peacock. Roo, they call him. That's his nickname. He's caught there, Jeffs. Good shepherd by Peacock. As Springvale clear to centre wing.
He spread his arms like the peacock's tail then, didn't he, to keep out Michele?
You've got to be strong too.
Phil Malan's calling for the runner. He's had the runner out with him there for a short while.
Just one possession for Phil Malan. Brown wins that fist. Here is Malan, caught by O'Connor. Round again, makes 20 metres with the handball, but to a heap of Springvale players. Here's Maloney trying to get their running game going. Good knock on from Dudley, expert as he found Prosser. Now Robinson against Lloyd.
And that is the perfect kick for Keith Robinson. If he's going to worry Simon Lloyd, yes, there's Chris Burton in trouble too. But Simon Lloyd is a great defender, but he doesn't have the height to worry Robinson. That was a perfectly placed kick.
From 25 metres. Goal 81 for the season for the Springvale Spearhead.
And that was an important steadier when they desperately needed to get that goal.
He certainly did, Sam.
Not only, as we see the mark from Robinson, not only is Burton in trouble, but Michele has been on the ground for Williamstown. He's in the back of screen on centre wing, Wayne Michele, feeling it's Jack Aziz, actually.
Jack Aziz, actually.
Oh.
Yes, the full complement of Williamstown trainers are out there to Aziz and Burton. They look like similar injuries.
I think Burton might have cracked ribs by the looks of it. I think he's going off.
Clark in the middle, Round doing well. Morny a paddle. Clearing it Phillips for Springvale. The centre forward. The back is Coop with McTaggart. Through comes Swan. Nice paddle in front. Good control by Bill Swan. Long as is at the back, he slips and Nickel marks. And there's Burton coming off. Sleverson will go on.
Just forward of the centre for Springvale. They've got the numbers though. Williamstown in defence. Howlett the two-fisted to McTaggart. Straight to Dwyer.
Poor kick that.
And really in a bad way. What wretched luck for Chris Burton. Missed last year's grand final because of a knee injury. Robinson trying to feed off to Phillips. Mitchell goes backwards, and you can nearly call that deliberate, but it doesn't go out. Coop, number 10 for Springvale. Pastore went deliberately out of bounds. And it's a throw-in.
Oh, it is a pressure game, this one. A crackerjack game.
And Phil, there's Chris Burton. It's very warm indeed, and the ground is big. Bigger than these sides are used to. O'Connor, McTaggart. The Seagulls combining well, Williamstown. Sleverson, a sloppy one, though.
See, Craig Mead has the job on Bruce Morney, too, in the forward pocket or back pocket for Mead, which is a good move by Springvale.
And Dempster rucks with Round, who Dempster wins it. He beat Round in round 15. Smith. Spearing pass out to Minot. His kick 2. With him Dwyer. Minot's got lots of pace. Nice twist. Spears the pass into Rickman. And the full forward is about 80 metres from goal. Aziz is back in the square. Perhaps he's momentarily full forward. As we see a good grab from Rickman in front of Smith. Meantime, play goes on. Sleverson from 60 metres. Ball held up in the breeze. The push by Michele. Oh, he made the mark. Umpire Bullis.
Who's in a better position defensively?
Oh, dear me. You just can't afford to miss those, Brian. I'm sorry. That was a dead set push.
Yeah.
So Wayne Roo Michele kicks Williamstown's forward.
And Minot on the half-forward flank has been simply devastating. They're always looking for him, and rightly so, because he's in rare form. And here we see this little nudge in the back by Michele, which escaped the eye of Brian Bullis, and that was classified as somewhat a fortunate goal for the Seagulls. But nonetheless, it's on the board, and they've stretched this lead to 20 points.
And of the 16 minutes that we've played, 14 minutes of the action would have been up in the Williamstown half. This time Simon Clark wins the tap, but it's Howlett who drives Williamstown forward. O'Connor against Jeffs. O'Connor's won the duel so far. He's got support from Aziz. The 1-2. Simon Clark in best position to mark here. Maloney just put in the Shepherd, and a high one on Dwyer from Michelli. Here's Smith, the stealer. And probably better than a behind. A chance for a Williamstown goal. They lead by 20 points. We've played 17 minutes first quarter.
They've picked a quicker side, Peter. That's very important.
Well, talking before the game to Spud Dullard, assistant coach, he said pace will win this game today.
I was just thinking Burton's replacement, whilst he's a big loss, Chris Burton, his replacement in Rick Slevison has been a wonderful contributor coming off the bench in the final series, Phil.
No doubt about it, Sam.
Over the top is Morney. Loose ball, Dwyer. Their running game not quite working at the Vales. As is intercepted well by Nickel. Loose ball. Swan under pressure. Sees Johansson inside 50. Dummies around. Scoring chance, a possibility, and a goal, a possibility. Number 5 for Willie.
Gee, they really are moving this ball around, and have a look at the Willie fans. Absolutely ecstatic. And they really aren't panicking under the enormous pressure. They're seeking the right option and distributing the ball finally. And Johansson, terrific turn here, eluding his opponent, and what a great kick for a little man, 45, 50 metres out.
Stefan Johansson dropped off the Footscray senior list, and here he is in the middle in the VFA Grand Final. Clever tap on, Slevison waiting for it from Smith. He's got 3 Springvale players around him. He's being forced backwards. The tackle came from Maloney. Now Atkins will lay one on him. It looked like a push. Graham Atkins getting some good shepherding there. It was Phillips. Now the pass for Robinson. The arrowline hands of Keith Robinson. Told to go long by his teammates. Dempster's back there. Prosser telling him to put it up to the goal line. Dempster front position. The rover is Mitchell. Lloyd, the fullback, up on half-back, and Mitchell runs out of room.
Sam, isn't Bill Swan enjoying those wide open spaces?
Yes, I must confess, prior to the game, I thought I was a bit dubious about the inclusion into the side. I thought they did very well in the preliminary final in his absence, but he's doing very well.
Doug Coop going in there, number 10, the assistant coach, almost could have got a free kick. He gets up, sweat on his brow. And Springvale in attack. Dempster again. Good ploy by Springvale, but Round's winning. McTaggart, the brilliant half-back. Oh, missed with a hand pass to Slevison. Dudley comes in. Springvale with numbers. Smith back the other way, as he so often does. Morney on centre wing. Pushed by Mead. Fighting on. It's a bit tougher now. But O'Connor. Tackle without it.
Oh.
And there's a hot free kick.
They've been consistent, though.
Yes, they have.
Craig Mead, the captain. To centre half forward. Robinson out from full forward. The fist from Barry Round. Quick exchange. Robinson inboard. Dudley is offline.
Terrible. Paul Dudley, the chance to handball there. I know Dudley likes a goal, but that would have really settled things down, and mistakes like that can cost you a flag.
Gee, players are throwing themselves with gay abandon in the fray, Phil, aren't they? What you'd expect, grand final time.
It's a 25-point lead for Williamstown. Just over 20 minutes. Clark and Round. It's going to go on all afternoon. Lloyd gets the high tackle. Carlton under-19's captain last year. Hands off to Pastore. Morney against Mead. Some help comes from Peacock. What's opening up for him? He goes for Robinson. Front position with McTaggart. Knock away from Howler. Number 18 is Lloyd. Good shepherding to allow Dudley in for Springvale. Not a bad effort. What a goal! Oh, that's a lifter.
Well, I said he likes the goal, Peter. I think I was right. He should have given the last one away, but can't be underestimated. Paul Dudley, a VFA representative. We see the ball spill out. Good shepherding from Phillips, and I always had the feeling that Dudley might just ping that, and he did. What a great game it is. Beautiful skills, great pressure football.
The shepherding has been exceptional from both sides, and Dudley swinging across the body had the right angle.
Clark wins the fist. Coming through Mashali, that ploy's worked. In front, this time is Smith of Rickman. Oh, a couple of clashes off the ball. Dwyer, good tackle Mashali. And then O'Connor comes in to help. The Willie forwards fighting hard. Atkins, Long, over Prosser's head with Mitchell, the two little fellows. Howlett, a halfback. Smith, been in everything. There's a bombing kick. It's all Springvale. Three of them go for it. And Simon Clark, the ruckman, marks.
Well, it came out all right, but I don't know how much talking there was there. Nickel. Pastore uses his chest, takes Malin out of the contest. Sleverson puts Swan under pressure, but he got the hands off quickly to Smith. Aziz against two. Oh, fine mark. He's not 100% Aziz. He's feeling those ribs, but went with that confidence in the mark. Now into the pocket, Bruce Morney. Well,
Aziz is a wonderful competitor. They need him across that half-forward line, just contesting in the air, bring the ball to ground, and on the odd occasions we saw then taking the big grab.
He's kicked 50 goals this season, Morney. This to go one in front of Rickman. Rickman in the middle of a host of Springvale players, and it's a throw-in.
Simon Clark, Phil. What are you going to say? Simon Clark trying to mark there?
No, I think the fist went up, didn't it? It was Barry Round was lurking as Martin Mendy.
Honest Mendy about to come on. Mead over the top. Round in trouble. Jeffs now a strawberry blonde. Oh, he got one high from Minot.
Oh, you wouldn't want to pay one there, would you?
Pretty hard there, Billy. I thought he was trying to get it out, but
yes.
Bit of a high tackle there too. He's feeling his head.
I think that was the saviour, the high tackle.
Oh, yeah, it was a bit each way, Sam.
Yes.
Umpire Russo with a bounce. Round the grab. Over the shoulder. Stewie Nickel puts it out.
Playing a wonderful game, the big man.
Yes, he is, Sam. There's no stopping him. One of the great footballers of all time.
Game 431 of senior football today for Barry Round. Where's the fist go? Straight to Mead. Shelley was moving in menacingly there to take that handball, and Dwyer had no option but go for the boundary.
Yes, it would have been awful if he just intercepted, wouldn't it, Peter, and snuck one through.
The breeze has sprung up. I must admit I'm wrong about the breeze.
Yeah, well, Barry Round was too, unless he knew what he was doing. It certainly paid off. They're 19 points up, Williamstown. Maloney, time to look for someone. That someone is Prosser. Mitchell playing him like a hand in a glove is McTaggart. Smith getting too much latitude, Grant Smith. These are the running backs that Malin was talking about. Aziz doesn't arrive in time. And Simon Clark feeds out to Jeffs. Time to recover. Nickel. Peacock. Swan's the chaser. Robinson the lead. He'll have to go past him now, Scott Peacock, and go for home. Charged down by Lloyd. He's got the help of Swan here. Brilliant defence from Williamstown. Sleverson's kick as Smith has to try and intercept from Maloney. In comes Johansson, but it's Maloney for Springvale. Dempster gets underneath the ball. And here's Pastore. They're doing it with ease at the moment. Confidence and skill from Williamstown. They're on centre wing with Greg Minor. He's kicked two, but he's now looking for Rickman. The ball will drop short. And there's Martin Mendy with his first possession.
That's it, don't go forward. Stay there. Thank you.
Mendy a long one. Dempster at centre half forward in front. The fist from Howlett. Roving well again is Pastore. The Swan is having a brilliant quarter. The kick is pinpoint to Morney. And Swan is having a field day so far. So's Grant Smith. Morney long. Aziz at the back of Clark. Couldn't get the second grab. Smith's got the fumbles. In comes O'Connor. Dispossesses Smith. The snap at goal is just wide.
Oh, it's a problem with Paul Smith at full back. He just has a little bit of trouble when the ball's on the ground, Ross. In fraction slow and can fumble. He's a big boy. Good contester, but gets into a little bit of trouble.
Interesting stat too, Phil. Maloney and Malin, two prime movers who had 4 possessions between them at this point in time.
20-point lead as we're into time on. As is thought for a second he could recover in time to drive it back up forward, but he's breathing in deeply here. He's going to require a bit of tension at quarter time. So we've seen Chris Burton go off with rib injuries, and Aziz is struggling. Morney's fist. Little shove from Minot. Atkins back in there. Mendy trying to get that running game going with long handball. Dudley towards Mayland. It was a poor kick. Mayland has 2 to beat. Well, it was McTaggart that was trying to rough him up a bit, and I think a good decision.
Yes.
Mayland for Dudley. Strong mark.
It's interesting to Grant Smith being given a lot of latitude, as is Bill Swan. I really feel you've got to tighten up on those players.
Who's playing on Smith, Phil?
Well, a good question, isn't it? No one at the moment.
Well,
just the Ruck Rovers. Yes.
Stop-start lead. Robinson is found.
Just got a vice like Greg Robinson. He's almost nigh on impossible to stop when he's in that premier front position.
He was gone. The other bloke pushed his head into the dirt.
45 metres, 50-degree angle for Keith Robinson. The difference is 19 points again in favour of Williamstown. They got off to a lightning start. Springvale haven't had time to steady coming up towards quarter time.
You're watching VFA for the first time. The voices you can hear are the umpires. They're wearing radio mics. For the second year. Howlett kicks in. Defensive side. Mayland goes as Pastore hits the carpet. Into Maloney. Mead. Dudley's at the back. Clark with him. Oh, Clark's taken a strong mark, the ruckman. And he'll kick from about 50 metres. There's the 50-metre line. The man on the mark about 40 metres out.
And Ross, that was a strange choice by Andrew Howlett to kick out there one-on-one. Not the best option. The result could be a goal.
5th mark to Simon Clark. Breeze behind him, but he's astray. So that's 3 goals the difference.
Yeah, I don't think the option was so bad, Phil. The thing that was bad was the fact that his target, Pastore, was under a lot of pressure. Mayland was in probably a better position.
Well, that's exactly what I mean, Sam.
Andrew Howlett, who's also been to the hairdresser in the break, the extended break, because of the AFL draw. Round and Clark taking over Dudley. Coop wobbles at goal without much direction.
Yes, Ross, in reference to that, Grant Smith and Coop obviously playing each other, but Coop giving Smith a lot of latitude, and Smith can really destroy you if the play opens up.
Marcus O'Connor round Smith and O'Connor, the first ruck for Williamstown, having a big bearing on the match. O'Connor to centre wing. Minot.
Been a fine player, Minot.
The Melbourne Patriot. He's tough as well. Into the centre. Pastore was a dangerous option. There's 2 Springvale players there, but Pastore's done well. Recovery, squaring kicked around. Feeds it off. Noticed. Swanee thought about it. Now he kicks. Oh, too high for Johansson. Spoiled by Jeffs. O'Connor. Quick exchange with Sleverson. Rickman leads to the pocket.
Well, a little bit disappointed, Rickman, but the siren beat him there. But the honours with Williamstown well and truly in the first term. They lead by 17 points at quarter time. 2 goals kicked by Greg Minot. Rickman and Morney have singles, while for Springvale, Robinson won, Dudley won, and Barry Round just checking on the fitness of Jack Aziz. Chris Burton, it will be interesting to see whether he can take any further part in this game. He did not look good when he went off the ground. That's one of those running backs that Phil Mayland was talking about, out of the way. But all the Williamstown players outrunning Springvale so far in the VFA Grand Final for 1990, with Williamstown 17 points up at quarter time. Well, Phil Mayland is a man with a message, I'm sure.
They've got to get there. Dud, Crosser, Dud, let go. All these blokes must be at the bottom. Jeez, we've had our opportunities already. but I reckon that first 5 minutes, they went in hard enough. The first 5 minutes.
Well, Phil Mayland, and the fact that his team have been second to the ball. Williamstown have wanted it more, and they really started off well, didn't they? There was no sign, Sam Kekovich, of grand final nerves.
No, they really have been. It was a superb opening by Williamstown, and Phil Mayland obviously disturbed with the fact that his players aren't at the base of the pack and not running at the ball, and that has cost them dearly. Big Barry Round on screen, well, he would be very happy with his charges. I felt the manner in which they disposed of the ball, both by hand and foot, apart from a couple of blemishes, has been superb. And I said from the outset, the bearing on this game, I felt that Springvale's big man dominance, which has been the catalyst in their previous victories, if that can be negated by himself, which he's done a magnificent performance in this quarter, Big Barry Round. He's given a lot of distribution to these running players, and as a consequence, his forwards have also had opportunities. Here we see Rickman, tremendous vision on the Minot on a half-forward flank, who's been devastating. You know, he's got tremendous talents, this kid, Minot. Strong overhead and very, very strong on either side of the body. Smith's been a wonderful ruck rover. Rickman, whilst he hasn't had a great deal of possession, has worked very hard in creating an opening. He's using his body well, creating plenty of movement and adding a lot of pressure onto the Springvale defence. And there he drilled one through from 55 metres. But Johansson, Minot once again we see on screen on that left foot on this occasion, a wonderful snap, and he really is proving a damaging player for Williamstown, for Springvale. Springvale on one of their few journeys forward, and here we see Keith Robinson. Well, they've got to give him plenty of opportunities because he can single-handedly win a game, and he's got a vice-like grip, and he put his first and Springvale's first major through after about 15 minutes. Minot once again displaying his ability to elude an opponent, finding Rickman. And you'll notice how open the Williamstown forward line. Michelli, a little bit lucky to get away with that nudge, but he's also been a wonderful contributor. Not necessarily the amount of possessions, but his ability, Phil, to run through the centre. And he's got an unnerving ability on opponents, hasn't he, at times?
They look neater, Sam, Williamstown, don't they? Their skills are really honed, and probably because they've been playing football consistently over the last few weeks.
And that was Johansson kicking that goal. I said Morney was the other goal kicker, but it was Stephen Johansson. What a brilliant goal this was from Dudley, and they really needed it.
Yes, they're certainly under a lot of pressure, Peter, at the present time. They really will need to kick a couple early. I think that if Williamstown adds one or two in the first few minutes, then, you know, this game could really slip away from them.
I think you made a very valid point, Peter, during your commentary, that they're doing the team-orientated thing so very well. And that has been a feature of the game, the superb tackling, the harassing, the running in numbers. You'll notice even under enormous pressure, they don't panic. They're quite vigilant. They dispense of the ball to the right option, and they're always in support of each other, Phil, aren't they?
They certainly are, Sam. And there's the stats.
And
yes,
it just bears out everything that's been happening, doesn't it?
Yes, they've got more of the ball, Peter, and they're using it ever so well, Williamstown. This is the point I made during the week. We look at the hit out, 7 to Springvale, 9 to Willie. But Williamstown are an attacking side. You realise that last year they only kicked 7 goals in the game. They got 5 up to quarter time. Well,
all the VFA medal winners for season 1990 have done their lap of honour. Joe Garbuio on the left, Liston medalist Matt Burrows for Preston, and Oscar Harkins, Steve Harkins in the background. The man lifting the cup up is Andrew Hawkes, who won the under-19 best and fairest. He's got a Premiership cup to go with it. Well done to Werribee today. And we saw Robert Kane, the Springvale recipient of the reserves best and fairest. Here's Ross Booth.
Well, Peter, Barry Round feels he now has the scoring end, but very pleased with the quarter with Michelli tearing through the middle. He felt that Rickman was getting a bit too far out from goal, but he feels that Springvale are not match fit, and he wants Williamstown, the Seagulls, to take advantage of that in this quarter. I think maybe they can.
Well, we'll soon find out. They begin at Williamstown with a 17-point lead. Round takes his hit out advantage to 3 over Clark. Ziz has hit hard, and they're going to be really testing out that injury, Springvale, as Phillips feeds for Maloney. Dempster hasn't played much part in the game so far. Phillips forward. Roberts couldn't take it away with him. It's Mitchell.
Done a lot of tight-in work up there, Troy Mitchell.
O'Connor evades one. Gets met after he's kicked it by Phillips. That was silly play. And Michelli takes the advantage. Rickman has got a 3-metre break on Smith. swooping in and leaving it behind on that occasion, Minot. Smith's handball to Mendy. Chance for Springvale to regroup. Maloney against Round. Now O'Connor. Round unable to get back for the shepherd. He gets the scoop from O'Connor. And Round now will do the ruck work against Dempster. They played together at the Lake Oval in the South Melbourne days. Two most experienced men out on the ground. Round, number 25, 40 years of age. Dempster at 35. Dempster, a veteran of the 83 Premiership and the 87 First Division Premiership for Springvale, as Phillips finds the running Atkins. Robinson. He's 45 metres out. He's deadly on the lead. Let's see if he's deadly with the boot.
That's it.
That's Springvale at their best, isn't it? Really should have gone back another couple of steps.
Yes, he's worried about the distance, you can tell. Oh, Dempster, if he'd taken possession there as Pastore came in and knocked it to him.
I don't think he's really confident with his kicking, Keith Robinson. We've seen him kick quite a few points during the final series, and there's the mark. Beautiful pass, but not confident to...
Robinson.
A great mark again in front, Ross. Just on the reference on that, regarding the breeze, Ross, that went all of 60, 65 metres, that kick out from McTaggart.
You're right, Sam. Atkins fires in the pass. They've all missed it except McTaggart. Pastore. On the full, is it? Yes. So Coop and Rod Morgan, who missed out on the side for Springvale, wasn't too unhappy. He said that it'll take a while to get the feel of the ball after that 2-week layoff, 3-week layoff. Coop into the square. Dempster and Round. Attacking football. Aziz. He's okay. He's just winded, Jack Aziz. Oh, he gets leg. Stumbles forward. O'Connor, they have the numbers. Dropping back is Jeffs. We could hear a pack coming. Johansson nips in. Rickman may not have the pace. Smith, good effort, Johansson. And saving the day is Michael Jeffs.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Had to.
Michael Jeffs, he really should have backed in and taken the mark.
I just wonder if he's a little bit concussed. He looked dazed there after that knock from the first term.
Just on that, I think he may have a sight problem. Oh, your contact lens missing, something like that. As our audio man said that the trainer came running in saying, Jeffs, he can't see. Jeffs, he can't see.
So you're not bad, Ross. You pick up the most minute detail.
Chris Burton had his boots off at the huddle. I don't think he'll take any part in the match with ribs. Injured. Atkins. Oh, dangerous. Looking for Maloney, who often lets it bounce. He may pay for this. Throws it forward in front of Nickel. Good pressure from Swan. Mead ran well. Through centre wing. Short. And a good mark to Coop in front of Pastore. Robinson has his back to the play. There's nothing to kick to. He leads short. That's far too short. Coop says no. Dempster's in the square. Robinson leads again and right of screen. Now there's a short. It's Clark.
That's it, son. Got there. Thanks, mate. No worries.
And he thought about going into the middle to coach Phil Malin. Ross is saying, get it up quickly, get it up quickly.
Well, Clark doesn't think he can kick that far. And Coop's gone back into exactly the same position that he passed the ball to him from. And he hasn't gone for him. He centred it. Can Malin make something? The coach. He's against the numbers. Atkins put the tackle on Smith. Coop is caught. Dudley quickly onto the left foot, and he's got too much hook on it. Now, they were never confident there of getting it within range, Springvale, and it's Lloyd. Michelle against 3. They all fly, Springvale. Advantage played. Malin for Robinson. That's a free kick against Lloyd. No, he's played holding the ball. Well, he hardly tackled him, surely. Well, they've been hot on that one. As is. There's 2 to beat. Charges down the handball from Nickel, who's crunched. He was the meat in the Williamstown sandwich and got the free kick.
Maloney getting into the play a bit more. Chasing is Michelle. Dempster outnumbered 2 to 1, but he's in the front. Howlett fists away. He's done it so well. Dudley, another possession. But once more he's astray, but kicking under great pressure.
Yes.
They're playing better, Springvale, but really need a goal. It'd break the spirit if...
6 minutes into the second quarter. 15-point lead for Williamstown. Haven't scored so far in this term. 2 behinds from Springvale. Pastore outmarked by Mead, the captain, showing the way for Springvale.
He's a good player, Craig Mead. Tough as nails.
Thanks, fellas.
Only 5 games because he's been injured most of the year. Dempster.
Yes, one of the fewer coaches who's outpointed Howlett then. Howlett was a bit tentative in going for the punch, which he has all day so far.
Robinson outnumbered the push. Rounders doing the roving. Lloyd does well. Good dispossession by Dudley in to help his Peacock, and they almost stole a goal.
Oh, it's hot in there, isn't it? They'd dearly love a goal, and they need one.
In comes Dempster to do the ruck work against Round. Solo effort.
Gee,
from him.
The umpire threw the ball up. Decided not to bounce it.
Well, has
doing
the
a sand
players
patch.
slipping over there, so I don't know whether I saw that.
Just run, that's all right.
Well, Round's taken up his position over in front of the Elliott stand, and that's where the kicking comes from Howlett. Clark pushing in on Round. Round holds front position. Be hard to knock off the ball. Now Hansen got the handball through, but it's Atkins. Crosser. Oh, brave mark. Didn't know what was coming from behind and held his ground. Again, they're trying to work it into a better position, and it's Phillips directly in front.
What a good kick from Atkins, though, Peter. Spot-on pass.
Yes, there wasn't much margin for error. It was Craig Phillips from 40 metres. Gets that goal they so vitally needed to start the second quarter. It took 8 minutes, but they're eating into that Williamstown lead now.
Yes, they certainly worked hard for it, Peter, and they finally penetrated the defence. But just on Atkins, Phil, I just believe he's starting to play a more prominent role around the ground, picking up a lot of possessions, and he used the ball so very well. And as Peter mentioned, it was a courageous mark by Prosser.
Wasn't it
he
ever?
Moved it on quickly to Phillips, and this was a good long goal.
8 minutes gone, and the margin back to 8 points, though Willie have played so well. Clark, a lovely tap to Prosser. Over the head of the little fellows. Mitchell with Atkins. Possession number 11, but it's under pressure. Dempster on the left. Phillips underneath it with Dudley. Oh, Dudley at the back. Dribbles it through. And the difference is just 2 points.
And the centre bounces is where it's happening, Ross. Simon Clark really starting to work well at the centre bounce. A fine knockout then.
Yes, Phil, that's one goal you would attribute to a centre bounce victory. It was just a clear possession out of there by Clark's tap out. And here we see the ever alert Dudley. Doesn't he know where the goals are, Phil?
McTaggart took a punt there, Sam. Took a big punt, and it cost a goal.
Yes, definitely. Leaving Dudley unmarked. There's a cardinal sin. Clark towards Prosser, Round intercepts. Jeffs. Maloney couldn't hold it. Wrestled clear by Morney. The tackle is a beauty from Mendy. Mead, rather. Now it's Craig Mead. Springvale outnumbered, but the kick went in a little bit shorter, which was good. Dempster spinning it out to Maloney. Robinson is marked, so he goes in short to Malin. Wants to bend it back. He's kicked a few like this here, and the diving mark from Dudley.
I'll bet Phil Malin was reminiscing about the good old days at Carlton when he lined up for goal there.
No, but did you see the look left? I think he saw Dudley running in, and I think we'll credit him with a pass.
Yes, well, Peter, if you're happy with that, we will.
Well, this to put Springvale in front. Dudley's already kicked 2. And that one, bananas the wrong way. Here's Lloyd, the recipient.
And Sam, I get the feeling that Phil Cleary's even enjoying this grand final.
Yes, Ross, so do I.
It's the longest he's ever spent at Princes Park, that's why.
Yes, rub it in, Peter.
Down goes Morney. Pastore at the foot of the pack. hand pass in the Michelli direction, but Mendy is there. Honest Martin Mendy.
Good briefs to join here in the early 70s, Philip.
Yes, I did. I didn't actually I played on this ground as a kid, but I came back later in 77 and played on the outside ground, so that wasn't much fun.
And the promising VFL career nipped in the bud as Prosser gets it to within 70 metres of goal. Atkins behind the pack. Swooping in, it's Phillips, the half forward, coming into prominence. Good position for Robinson here. Wasting no time to Maloney. Good catch.
Oh.
And they're really finding their feet, Springvale. I think the point you made earlier, Sam, about the layoff, a little bit sluggish early, but now they're really starting to get into gear, Peter, aren't they? And using the ball well.
And the Williamstown backs not sure who they've got to look after, because Springvale looking for a man in a better position at every opportunity. Now, Bugsy Maloney to put them 4 points in front. Springvale lead for the first time this afternoon.
Yes, and Maloney's got on top with Bill Swan in the middle. Simon Clark is starting to win in the ruck.
Atkins too, Phil.
Oh, great player, Sam. Uses the ball beautifully.
And another feature too, Phil, I might add, is their physical strength is starting to become quite pronounced.
So after 12 minutes, Springvale in front for the first time. Round looks a trifle more concerned now. The 40-year-old veteran up against Clark. The bounce favours him. Lovely tap to Smith, who's gone quiet in the second quarter. Coop gets one high. Sleverson to the middle where Michelli marks. Rickman guarded closely by Smith. Smith gets the fist in the way. Johansson, 22. Oh, Jess was lucky not to give the free kick away. O'Connor tackled by Prosser. And the Springvale defence looked better.
Ross, and Smith is playing Rickman very well. He's standing him about 5 metres in front, and he's making up the distance quite well, even if the ball's kicked sideways.
13-minute mark, second quarter, VFA Grand Final. Springvale done all the scoring in this term. Chance now for Williamstown. Malin, beautiful tackle on Smith, who had to wait. And he who hesitates is lost here on the wide open spaces of Princes Park as Maloney puts it up for Robinson, and brave effort from Lloyd, leaving his man. What about the switch of play? Howlett gave him the option. Now Aziz. Nickel has to peel off. Aziz for Rickman. Stopped, waiting for the whistle from the umpire. It didn't come. Jeffs. They've got the numbers all of a sudden, Springvale. This is Coop. Dempster's on his own. Goes for Malin instead. Now Dempster still available. Oh, they're doing it on the bit at the moment, Springvale. Robinson in the pocket. Has the drop on Lloyd, but he got a hand up there, the fullback.
Oh, he looks dangerous, Keith Robinson. Just that little bit of height advantage on Simon Lloyd, who's really working overtime.
Here he is, 17 with him, Lloyd. As Dempster and Round prepare for the ruck duel. Round wins it to Mitchell, the back pocket. Oh, he's caught. Howlett clears under pressure. Coop's there.
Stop to a walk, Williamstown. Just a standing kick there from Howlett without looking, and players are standing around watching him.
Bill Swan interchanged.
Brett Gould comes on, 32. Straight into the play and into the centre. And there's Gould, first possession. Pastore. Nickel has the strength. Oh, held it a long time. Dempster on the overlap Mendy, but on his wrong foot. Does it well, but Robinson misjudged the kick.
Well, they've got a chance here because they've got the loose man advantage. Howlett spotting that. And Johansson. Mitchell the shepherd off on Atkins. A little bit of a break for Minot on Peacock. One of a few fumbles from Minot. The whistle comes from the boundary umpire, who was caught a fair way behind, but no argument from Minot.
So was Brian Bullis on that occasion too, Peter.
Well, Round won't get there to do the ruck work. He's looking a bit tired, Round. Gould had to go up against Clark. It's Prosser. There's Round in the foreground. Smith. Phillips takes him out, or tries to. And there's going to be an umpire speaking with Craig Phillips.
I think that he's a bit stiff there, Grant Smith, because Phillips went after him.
Oh, the retaliator's been
Yes, pinged. I thought that Phillips was out of order there, and
should have been down ground, surely.
Yes, I think so.
No question about that, Phil.
Well, Grant Smith should have kept his cool a bit. That's the other way to look at it. Phillips has the kick, waiting for a lead from Robinson. In the pocket is Robinson, 2-on-1. Atkins.
He's like a dog at a bone, Simon Lloyd, isn't he? He really is wearing Keith Robinson, stopping him leading.
He's giving away 7 centimetres to him.
Dempster wins it. Atkins. Oh, he didn't have long to hit rid of that. McTaggart spears out the hand pass to Smith. Not such a good kick from Smith as earlier in the day, and Aziz in front of Mendy. Juggles a fine mark. The lead short from Minot. Oh, Peacock got into his back. No free. The numbers are Springvale, Prosser, Dudley, pushed by McTaggart. Both men have pace. Or McTaggart goes down accidentally, but the free's there.
And that was intelligent play by Dudley then.
Professional Samuel.
Yes, my word.
Good umpiring too.
Yes.
Was indeed good umpiring.
Yes, no.
But it was a little hint the umpire needed to blow the whistle. The fact that he had his arms elevated to get back on the mark.
Well, they're starting to give the ball away, Williamstown. Coop to Malin. McTaggart, good position here, and goes the fist. Perhaps could have marked. Atkins taking advantage of it.
It's got great pace, Atkins. Gets out of trouble very, very well.
18 minutes gone, second quarter. Phillips, Atkins a volley.
Well, that would have brought the house down, Ross, wouldn't it?
Like a place kick, wasn't it?
It was.
Their running players have really been clamped on Williamstown's, haven't they? Smith.
Yes, they've certainly tightened up.
O'Connor.
They've been outscored 3-4 so far in this second quarter. Ruck Rover, Grant Smith. Pastore. No movement at all from the Seagulls. Aziz available.
They've just lost their fluency, haven't they? It's all stop-start, kicking to a position.
Well, now they're out of position after that play on. Rickman, though, kept going with the lead. It was intelligent play from Aziz because all the other players had been covered.
Thank you.
Sam. Tippett, Sam.
Paul Smith was told 3 times then to get back, and it was very close to being a 50-metre.
I think he'll kick it, Ross, from 55.
Thank you.
Breeze has dropped just a little bit at his back. He can hoof a football.
Too early, Marcus. Clarkie.
Free kick for Simon Clark.
Brian Bulls knows his umpires on a first-name basis too. That's good to see.
His players.
Sorry, players. Did I say umpires, did I?
Well, I'm sure he does
You've always
that
had
as well.
You've always had umpires on the brain, Cleary.
Yes, that's probably true, with good reason.
Mendy, oh, Nicholas, no, Smith. Paul Smith, SMIT, in front of Rickman. Dempster in front of Howlett. Oh, and he's marked well. Andy Howlett has punched away very well today. Jeffs leads to the pocket. Loves to run, Michael Jeffs. They'd run into the attack from defence. Again, Robertson well guarded by Lloyd. Centering kick. Well, he was well guarded. Lloyd's run was blocked.
And Dudley kept Big Barry round at arm's reach.
Yes, and Barry had dropped into the corridor too to stop the pass, but he was just caught a metre on the wrong side.
Number 2 for Keith Robinson, and the lead, 11 points.
They just look a bit neater, and
Sorry, Jack.
there's some ominous signs starting to appear for Williamstown. Here we see Keith Robinson. His aerial work's been absolutely superb this afternoon.
Well, I suppose that's a difference between Robinson and Rickman too, isn't it, Sam? That Rickman needs them on the lead, whereas Robinson can pluck them in the air at difficult times.
And I just feel Williamstown have been a little bit too Rickman conscious up forward too, Phil. They're probably better off drilling the ball long up forward. And I'd like to see a move made, and I'd like to see Tony Pastori up in the forward line.
Round makes 20 metres, but well read by Nicol.
Superb this afternoon.
Well, I suppose that's a difference between Robinson and Rickman too, isn't it, Sam? That Rickman needs them on the lead, whereas Robinson can pluck them in the air at difficult times.
And I just feel Williamstown have been a little bit too Rickman conscious up forward too, Phil. They're probably better off drilling the ball long up forward. And I'd like to see a move made, and I'd like to see Tony Pastori up in the forward line.
Round makes 20 metres, but well read by Nicol. Little push from Phillips. Great play to set himself up for a goal. Oh, lightning out of the middle. And Phillips gets his second.
And that is a superb piece of work by Phillips. If we see it on the replay, the way he used his body, Sam, wasn't that just lovely? To see it here.
And that crucial possession out of the middle, even though round one they're not. But Nicol in front, and Aziz must be in front.
And what a lovely bump. Ran onto the ball, Phillips, just nudged Sleverson out to the side. They're looking good.
Half forwards must run into the centre in front of their respective defenders.
So Springvale have kicked about the last 5 or 6 goals to Willie's 1. Smith. Dispossessed by Maloney. Aziz comes in to lend support. Williamstown realise that the moment is crucial. Gould gets a kick in the way, Malin.
Atkins. Dempster taken out of position by Howlett, allowing Sleverson to mark. Just a little bit of a lull in proceedings. Good length with the kick. Well, who will that be called on?
Morty, just a blatant push in the back by Bruce Morty, and just a little frustration starting to creep into Williamstown's play.
Peacock spinning it out there to Nicol, who's starting to come into play. One of the 4 Liston medalists for 1990, as is Malin. He's the general.
You're not wrong there, Peter.
He chips it to the loose Nicol. Fires the pass in. Intended for Robinson, but Dudley, who's been an opportunist, chips in.
Ross, you know the good part about that play by Springvale is the use of Nicol on his left foot side. He's run on the right side to be in perfect position to kick the ball, and the Springvale players worked that out, and he got it twice.
Paul Dudley lining up number 3. Rounds there, so's Robinson, and the big fellow saves a goal. 23 minutes gone of the second quarter here at Princes Park.
18 points is the lead. They have yet to score in this term, Williamstown. They haven't been over half forward, really. Atkins gets the shepherding from Clark. Towards Nicol, who was standing flat-footed. He wasn't sure which way Atkins was going. I don't think he knew either. But it's still with the Vales, and Mendy from 50. Timely from Aziz. Well, centre-half forward Aziz. Touching it there.
Honest Barton's got a penchant for kicking goals of late too, Peter.
Simon Lloyd gets play moving to centre wing. Pastori's outnumbered. Dempster gets a hand in. Shepherding by Coop. Nicol does it easily. In for Phillips. Stolen by Sleverson, who goes long towards Rickman. Oh, he's pushed to the Smither side, and in comes Peacock to relieve the pressure. Wide to Nicol, and on the rebound, the Vales. 2 loose on centre wing. One is Malin, the other is Atkins. Malin chips to Dempster at half forward.
Towards Robinson. 3 Williamstown players converge on him. One of them McTaggart. Howlett and Aziz have done the swap. Morney tried to knock on then, but it's taken by Nicol. Howlett in frustration slings him down. Dempster trying to find Dudley, and he almost got into the back there of Pastori. Mitchell, Lloyd, Michelli, Been virtually unsighted in this quarter. He's not on his own, though. Stephen Johansson. Jeffs forcing him backwards. Now some help coming also from Dudley, and the kick went astray. Howlett good enough to take hold of it. He's got it again, but nowhere to go here. Oh, great defence from Springvale.
Magnificent, tough, relentless, and just sheer persistence. Oh. They've worried them out of what should have been a relatively easy possession and a forward thrust. They've managed to negate it, and it's back in the centre.
Nickel on top, but he's on top of Howlett now as at centre-half forward, as is it centre-half back. O'Connor the steal. Smith the hand pass. Nickel in front of Howlett. Goes on with it. Off the ground by O'Connor. Hits the deck. Wide to Coop. Too much pace for Pastore. Up towards the dangerous Dudley. With him Gould. Dudley keeps the pressure on. Down he goes. And as we're a minute into time on, there'll be a throw-in.
Plenty of entertainment coming up at half-time. We'll be announcing the winners of the Wards Express goal and mark of season 1990. That's the players who were responsible, and also the viewer who picks up the $1,000 for agreeing with us that they were mark and goal of the year, and also some great entertainment out on centre field. But it's Williamstown trying to withstand an onslaught from Springvale, and it's Smith with a free kick.
They just badly needed goals, Williamstown, to get themselves back into the game.
Bombs it high for Howlett, usually a good mark. Jeff's had a hand there, and Nickel against Johansson. That's a good tackle from Aziz. A beauty. He reached up over the top and pinned him.
Bit tough.
Here's Howlett. Well, they know which way the umpires are going to go in that situation as Howlett goes to Rickman. This must be the goal.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit stiff there, Stuart. Nickel initially was held.
Well, you have to be lightning in disposing of the ball. It's fifth possession for Rickman, and he's got to make it count. His team trail by 19 points in the shadow of half-time. First score of the quarter is a goal for Williamstown, second for Ian Rickman.
Yes, and the moving of Howlett to centre-half forward and Aziz to centre-half back.
Good move.
Yes, has reaped almost instant success with Howlett finding Rickman on a lead, and that's the way he scores the bulk of his goals. And what a badly needed one it was for Williamstown.
And Jack Aziz back at centre-half back is limping around. He'll be looking forward to half-time. We're all looking for petrol tickets, especially Williamstown now. They need another. Simon Clark. Mendy. Oh, avoided the high tackle from Michele. Long one. Robinson has the height and strength.
Yes, if the ball's kicked in the air, high to both these players, or in the vicinity of these players, that's where Robinson really has the advantage. He uses his hips really well to outposition these opponents. Fine player.
And Robinson takes the chance to go to Maloney. There was a fight taking place at centre-half forward. It was a diversion, and Maloney got clear, as he's wont to do.
Gee, it was a good mark too, Peter, under a lot of pressure, running into a player. Courage and class. Bill Swan is back on.
12th possession for Maloney. He can answer the Rickman goal. He does with his second. The lead back to 19 points for Springvale, and it's half-time in the grand final. Springvale came from a 17-point deficit at quarter time to lead at half-time by 19. In that quarter, they kicked 6 goals, 6 to Williamstown's solitary goal. It just shows you how quickly fortunes can change. They perhaps were lacking a run. Springvale, they took a quarter to get into gear, and they did it, and how. 4 goal kickers for them, all with 2 apiece. They're Dudley, Maloney, Robinson and Phillips, while for Williamstown, 2 to Minot and Rickman. Johansson has 1 and Michele the other. But a turnaround in that quarter of 36 points to Springvale, giving them a lead at half-time in the grand final for 1990 of 19. Time now to announce the winner of the goal and mark of the year for season 1990 from the ABC telecast. And to do the honours, at last Friday week's Paran Grand Final luncheon, the ABC head of television in Victoria, Rory Sutton.
The winner of the 1990 goal of the year is Brett Weatherald from the Coburg Football Club.
Rakavolis. Weatherald against Thorogood. Weatherald with strength. Brilliant goal. Goal of the day from Brett Weatherald.
Will you accept it on his behalf? Yes. He wasn't the one.
Right, thanks. I'd certainly like to thank Wards for making the award possible. Naturally, that's an old cliche too. Brett Weatherald caused me a certain degree of pain during the course of the year, especially after one game where if I hadn't picked him, I wouldn't have been nursing a broken nose, but that's life, isn't it? And secondly, it's interesting, it's a bit unfortunate that Tony Leonard, in fact, didn't call that goal because, as you noticed, when Stephen Sells shot one over his shoulder, and in another game at Coburg, one was shot over his shoulder, Tony called it as, and he over his shoulder, and it was a great call, and we nearly fell off our chairs in the box. But thanks very much, Wards, and well done, Billy Weatherald, and all the other great goals. Well done.
And now for the mark of the year, and the winner isn't too far away from Coburg. In fact, it's just down the road at Preston, where, in the opinion of the judges, the winner of the 1990 mark of the year is Adrian Marcon.
Yes, I think you should go to the football and read the recorder tomorrow with Frank the Gunner explaining as Marcon takes a brilliant mark.
What a mark. Oh. That is just a beautiful grab from the little man.
Congratulations, Adrian.
Thanks very much.
It's a great mark.
Thank you. It comes as a complete surprise. I thought I was just coming down here today for a free meal. I'd like to thank to the panel for voting for me. I might go up for a few more grabs next year now, if Jordan let me. Thanks very much.
Well, the big prize, as far as individuals are concerned, playing-wise this season, the Liston Trophy, and 4 players shared the spoils on that great day at the Southern Cross, a momentous day. First time in history that 4 players had ever won the Liston Trophy. And we've got 2 of them down at ground level now with Ross Booth.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. We don't know where Oscar Harkins is, but never mind. We've got Joe Garbuio from Oakleigh and Matty Burrows from Preston. Well, Joe, it's been a great start. Firstly, the Springvale little men that weren't in the game early on, were they? It was all Williamstown.
Well, they've had the 2 weeks break or whatever because of the AFL thing. I think it's taken them a while to get their legs running. I mean, once they start, as in the second quarter there, the little fellas just really started running very hard, and that's causing problems for Williamstown.
You've played against Graham Atkins, I suppose. So he's really been in the play, hasn't he?
Yeah. He had a good first quarter. He's probably one of the only Springvale players that I saw that was contributing in the first quarter. But he and Prosser, when they get going, they're very hard to stop. Very fit and fast. Read the ball very well.
And how do you see things from here now? Do you think Springvale can go on with it?
Well, if they play like that quarter, as I said, their little brigade is very fit. If they're able to let run all day, I'll see. I think Springvale will win by about 5 or 6 goals, I'd say.
Yeah, here's one to test you. Who would you like to ruck to, Simon Clark or Barry Round?
I used to play with Simon Clark at Richmond, and we both sort of worked fairly well together. So I'd have to say Simon Clark, but it would be nice to sort of to have a go with Barry Round.
Okay, now Joe, on Oakleigh's front, Terry Smith's been reappointed captain coach.
Yeah, he has been reappointed for next year, and we're looking at big things already. So we will be a lot stronger next year.
And by the way, how'd you go in the best and fairest?
Well, Kevin Dyson won fairly easily to Darren Mitchelson and Martin Melody, and I come fourth.
Never mind, you got the big one, didn't you? That's
yeah.
right, well done, Joey. OK, let's have a word to Matty Burrows, the centre half back for Preston. How have you seen the defence of both sides?
Oh, it's been a great tussle at centre half back with Jack Aziz and Stewie Nicol. I think Stewie Nichol's just starting to get on top.
Well, they've in fact moved Andrew Hallett up there.
Yeah, well, they lined the side up as is at centre half back and Hallett centre half forward, but they swapped the back around. But well, Springvale's starting to get on top, as you can see, and they're getting out the centre, and Maloney's starting to get on top in the middle.
I guess you would have loved to have played on this ground, because if one thing you're known for, it's your great pace.
Yeah, I run in the lap, but it's like carpet out today. It's unbelievable. I could have played me runners today, I think. It was, yeah, it's a really good nick, yeah.
Bit more grass, better grass than Kramer Street, is it?
Oh, it wouldn't take much more grass than on Kramer Street. Yeah, it's really top nick.
Now, Neil Jordan, your captain coach, VFA Personality of the Year, and he's back captain coach next year?
Yeah, Jordo's got the job in next year and the year after. I mean, he's done a sensational job this year. I mean, he's brought us from midfield up to finished on top, and everybody respects him, and it's just an inspiration there.
Now, of course, equal winner of the Liston. How did you go in the Preston best and fairest, Matt?
Well,
who won it?
Well, actually, it was held yesterday. Some little bloke, his name's Joey or somebody like that one.
Number 26,
yeah,
Joey Lumachese.
Yeah, that's him, yeah. He was pretty, he deserved it, I suppose, yeah. No, he did well. He polled 30, he won by 35.
And how many votes did you get?
I was 35 behind him.
Oh,
that was second, and Adrian Marcon was third.
Right,
yeah.
OK, terrific. Well, there we are, have two of the four Liston Trophy winners. Of course, one of them out there, Stuart Nicol, number 34, Springvale. A bit hard to interview him. I guess he's getting the address from Phil Malin. Joe Garbuio from Oakleigh and Matt Burrows from Preston.
Thanks very much, Ross. That's the scene here at Princes Park. In the first half of the match here, it's Springvale who have come out with a 19-point lead after they trailed by 17. So a 6-goal turnaround there in the space of a quarter. They allowed Williamstown just one major. And we mightn't have the full 30,000 here, but well, they've certainly been entertained in the first half. And it's a beautiful sight here at the Carlton ground. And with me, Sam Kekovich and Phil Cleary. Well, Sam, you said Williamstown, and you really were looking good with that tip in the first quarter.
Yes, I felt their first quarter was absolutely tremendous, and it was imperative that they did get off the start they did to have any show at all. I felt Springvale were extremely sluggish. Williamstown beat them to the ball. Big barrier round dominated proceedings in the centre bounce area. Their on-ball players in Smith, Minette and O'Connor was absolutely devastating. Rickman was moving around at full forward, and things looked very rosy. But then what a dramatic turnaround that second quarter. Well, Springvale, they really did gather their momentum and their feet, and their prime movers that we've seen so often get them back into the game in Malin and Maloney, who were well held in that first quarter, really came to prominence, and they amassed some 15-16 possessions. Atkins around the pack was been a fine, probably Springvale's best player in the first half. Clark, who was outpointed by around that first quarter, sprung to prominence also in the centre bounce, gave them first use of the ball. And of course, Dudley across that half-forward line was absolutely a will-o'-the-wisp, scoring 2 or 3 vitally important goals. And all of a sudden, the Springvale machine sprung into action, and they looked very, very good. And I think the lead of 3 goals at this stage has been a well-deserved one.
Well, Phil Cleary, did Williamstown spend all their bickies in that ferocious opening with some of their experienced players really coming out at 1,000,000 miles an hour?
I think it was important for Springvale to start to tighten up. It's obvious that Williamstown has a very attacking side, and the likes of Grant Smith and Bill Swan were giving a lot of latitude early. But once Springvale sort of tightened up, then the game changed. The likes of Smith have gone out of the game. And there you see Keith Robinson and Atkins, and they've been real prime movers in the side. Prosser there, a great mark. You know, you can't take anything away from Springvale. They are a very skillful side, and they're hitting very hard. Their tackling has been tremendous, and they've really fought themselves back to be in front and in with a real big chance now. And they were looking pretty ordinary in that first quarter.
I think, Phil, I don't know what your views are, but I just feel the warm conditions here are starting to take its toll on some of the ageing legs of Williamstown. In particular, I allude to Swan and Round, and
Well, they took a punt putting Billy Swan into the side, and I don't want to be too critical of Billy Swan.
It paid off, didn't it? He played
well.
Yes, he did. I mean,
but I was critical of the same thing, Phil.
Well, he's been a great player, but I just thought that, you know, if the game got really tight, I wondered whether he could run the game out. And also, he's had injuries. And sure, he was off well early, started well. But look, Peter Maloney, he's come right into the game, and his possessions have been absolutely pinpoint and so creative. And then Malin as well been setting the play up. And see, Springvale are very clever with the ball. They're prepared to chip it around. They don't just follow a simplistic pattern of getting the ball and driving it long. If they think there's a short on, there it is. Robinson straight into Maloney. They're very clever. They've got that bit of cunning about them, and Malin's really instilled that into the side.
Ross Booth talked about having a word with one of the unlucky interchange players, Rod Morgan, who missed out today, and he wasn't worried at quarter time. He said that they would find their feet, and it was evident in their play that they never panicked, even though Williamstown did start off like a shot out of a gun.
Well, we've seen Springvale previously, Phil, haven't they? Been notoriously slow starters, but one thing you can invariably be confident with them, they'll claw their way back. And you know, Williamstown's problem in their focal points in attack, they've fallen down badly with Rickman and Aziz. The stats on screen, you know, tell the story, I guess, to a degree. Springvale superior in kicks and marks.
It shows you the turnaround since quarter time.
Since quarter time. You know, it's been quite amazing. But
and Round had a 3 hit-out advantage over Clark at quarter time. Now
that was a 9-6. That's right. But they really have fought their way back into the Premier seat through sheer persistence and excellent team play, and they're wonderful users. And you made a very good point, Phil, that they use the ball so very well by the either by hand or foot.
Sam, don't sound so surprised at Phil Martin.
Yes, how many good points do I make in the course of a year?
Well, you do make some good ones. That's probably a better one today. But the use of the ball is all important. And in finals, you know, there's just no substitute for that use of the ball, and especially on a warm day like today. If you can minimise the amount of running you do by handling the ball correctly.
Well, teams out on the ground. They have been for some time, but in no hurry to get into position. Ross Booth, apart from interviews at half-time, have you managed to find out anything from the dressing rooms?
Well, I did, Peter. In fact, I must admit I've got an informant in the Willie room. It was Hoggy, the well-known trainer, and he said that Barry Round really gave them a blast. Didn't name names, but he said that a lot of players were loafing. And I think Williamstown only had about 5 handballs that quarter, which indicates they're a bit slack on the job. Chris Burton, I believe, has either cracked ribs or broken ribs, and doubtful to take any further part unless absolutely desperate. And Phil Martin, well, in the Springvale rooms, they're very quiet still, very confident, a good feeling, the sort of feeling they had about 1987.
They've really put a lid on their running players, Springvale, didn't they, in that quarter. Sleverson and O'Connor. They blanketed Aziz and Rickman effectively, and there was just no movement. They were virtually playing prop and cop football. They lost that fluency they had in that first quarter, and it was all Springvale were the ones that were running and had all the options and the numbers to the ball and harassing and fierce tackling.
But the game's not over, Sam, by a long shot.
No, Fat Lady not even in position yet. It's 19-point lead for Springvale. Clark hits the backhander. Sleverson handing off to Johansson. Rickman has to prop a little bit. Has he got the recovery? He got a good bounce. Well, now he's got clear. Ian Rickman just misses. Well, I think he knew what he was doing, but
can't he do remarkable things with a football? That was a great turn and a beautiful kick. It just went to the left.
Well, I think the players will be quite happy that it has clouded over just a little bit. The sun shining brightly on the city away to our south, but just a little bit of a cloud in the inner northern suburbs at the moment. Carlton, the knock-on from Clark. Jeffs, leaves them in his wake. Barry Round couldn't match it with him, and Dudley, a fine mark at full pace. Dempster. Howlett did enough to spoil. Shark Malin did the sharking. Has he got this one? Oh, that's even a more miraculous goal than Dudley's. Well, I'm sure he could have practiced that at training when he was here at the Blues and never got it in 100 attempts. You know, he's got his first goal this afternoon.
Yes, and he had Robinson on a lead, but he knew it was a bit risky, and he put it to the point virtually on the square. if there was another player coming in, he could have marked it, and that's a beautifully placed kick. Great work, Phil Mayland.
And Marcus O'Connor apparently paid the penalty for a quiet second quarter because he's off the ground now.
Yes, Poole is on. Brown hopes someone's there. Mendy just overran it. Michelli battling against the odds here. Minor couldn't pick it up.
Gee, that's good play, Mark Mendy, and he's worn Wayne Michelli.
He started off interchange today. Jeff Anderson, the other experienced interchange player. Atkins has the support of Mendy. Michelli meets him. Michelli kicked 1 goal in the first quarter, and Mendy off interchange, really sitting on him in the second quarter. Brown gets another, rather Clark another opportunity. Graham Atkins, who came to Springvale this season via Collingwood.
What a recruit he's been.
And it's taken some VFL footballers a long time to adjust to the VFA. Not the case with Atkins. I don't think he's missed a game this season. No, just missed 2 games for the season. It's Sleverson. Rickman stayed behind. Will he get in the contest? Wrapped up by Smith. Oh, and Rickman just threw his arm back in there. Then he copped Peacock across the cranium.
Free kick going to Mead. Play goes on. Mead shows great initiative. Inboard to Atkins. Back to Mead. He's carried the ball about 100 metres. Mayland might have overdone it. Oh, there's a high tackle. A crude one by Michelli. Oh, and a 50-metre penalty to boot. And Williamstown must be careful not to lose control. They're not out of it.
Well, we've seen Rickman and Michelli be very over-vigorous. Is it an instruction, do you think, to try and upset Springvale?
Well, I wouldn't think it would be of any value because Springvale are a pretty strong side. Phil Mayland's in a bit of trouble, I think.
I don't think it would be a direct instruction, Phil, but I think Barry Round would have had a word to them regarding their physical aggression. They must be a lot stronger in their endeavour for the ball.
Not number 2 for Phil Mayland.
But some of the application we've seen today has left a little bit to be desired.
Well, Wayne Michelli was very silly then.
Howlett goes short to Lloyd. Atkins. Oh. Well, you hear the crowd. And Atkins very lucky. Lloyd has to stand and deliver towards Round. Over the back, Nickel. Tell you what, Sam, it's might be cool up here, but it's hot running up and down those stairs.
My word,
look
Ross.
at the sweat on Barry Round's brow.
He wins the tap. Johansson had it knocked away by Phillips.
Well, did Barry do a couple of laps up and down the steps, Ross, at half-time?
He would have beaten me. There he is, the 40-year-old.
Looking out the corner of his eye at Dempster, who got in front for the tap. Phillips, a brilliant pickup. McTaggart meets him. Atkins came in to make the handball go astray. Maloney, good handball to Phillips. No one square, so he hits the post.
We could have steadied then too.
But their first thought is to look for somebody in a better position, isn't it?
Yes,
you've got to admire them for that.
Lloyd looks for an option. It's Pastore on the outer flank with Mayland. Phil almost dragged in. Atkins, slick hand pass to Dempster. The 35-year-old shows great pace. Chipping in Morney. Wherever he's playing, usually in attack. Third possession only to Bruce Morney. Quiet day. Oh, Round out of position, took a good mark. What's on offer? In the middle, Sleverson's found space. That's not 50. Coop putting good pressure on Sleverson. And the kick dropping short. Oh, bad mistake too, flying my net. Smith, Swan, back to Michelli, inside 50, over the top. Aziz, has he got the pace? No. The hand pass intercepted by Phillips. In goes Michelli. Jeffs is there. Will he fight on? Mendy, a nice turn. And Maloney will clear.
Nothing for him on the wing, so he deliberately kicks it out. It went out on the full anyway. Phillips in a bit of trouble. I just sense Williamstown have got a chance here. We saw two Springvale players fly against one another a moment or two ago. But it's Phillips, he's in trouble. Smith, hoping Rickman can get it all. It's a great effort. Swan looking for the crumbs. Now it's Minor. Oh, whacked up brilliantly by Mendy.
Beautiful tackle. Oh, beautiful tackle. In the last 5 minutes, rather. Superb.
Yes, it's Captain Mead. Now his crosser. Loose man is Malin. Let's see how he's been affected by that knock of a moment or two back. He's quite happy to take it over the boundary line. His teammate Dudley's got a free anyway.
Gee, their defence is rock solid, isn't it, Peter?
Dudley on centre wing. Squares it to Nicol. The two big fellows, Clark and Nicol. Nicol long. Robinson with Lloyd. Lloyd nudges Robinson aside. Under pressure, Howlett. Looks to be back in defence as Izzet's at a half forward. Into the middle. Oh, Smith waited for it. Still gets it. Sleverson long. Rickman with Smith. Smith in the best position.
Well, that time, the long kicking prowess of Sleverson really didn't help Williamstown. Here he's arriving to try and spoil Coop. Well, they're confident. Springvale as he squares it to Prosser. Peacock. Swan retarded him. Nichols caught. Not the quickest player at ground level. Tap on from Dempster. Oh, that was delicate. Malin to Robinson.
Oh, that's 50 metres too. Andrew Howlett ran across the mark and Keith Robinson pointed it out.
Well, Melbourne would wishing that Brian Bullis had been in charge of that preliminary final in 1987. Jim Stones, if you're watching, good afternoon. Robinson posts another major for Springvale. He gets his third.
He's been a fine player, Keith Robinson. He's been leading and putting the Williamstown defence under enormous pressure. And Malin's use of the ball is superb. Just no chance for Andrew Lloyd here, and he's, you know, all the more meritorious is Robinson's performances when you consider he's been pitted against a player of Lloyd's calibre. Very tight checking.
10 minutes gone. 32 points. In the third quarter, umpire Russo. Clark leads higher than Round, but Round roves. Swan. Smith had a brilliant first quarter. Goes on with it, searching for Rickman, who's well out from goal, over the 50-metre line. No support whatsoever for Rickman. Brilliant smothering or shepherding by Smith. Mead kicks to the unopposed Prosser.
Oh, good run from Robert Prosser. Maloney, unguarded. Peacock charging through the middle. The handball is perfect. Robinson waiting for it, and he just dwelled a bit, Peacock. And he was nabbed. Good chasing that time from Minot, but they've given it away again. Maloney taking on Swan for pace.
Gee, Paul Smith at full-back, hasn't he done a big job on Ian Rickman to date?
Almost a touch of arrogance there about Maloney's play, wasn't it, taking Billy Swan on?
Just 2 goals to Rickman against Smith. Mendy gets a bad bounce. Peacock's there. Paddles it out. Maloney into Dempster. Good tackle, Howlett. Good dispossession of Pastore by Atkins. Anderson's on. Malin twisting, turning, gets out of trouble, feeds it back to Clark, who finds Dudley. Springvale in control. Dudley waiting for the lead. There's one from Anderson coming any minute. Now he's covered.
Well, look at Maloney on his left.
At half forward. Anderson goes to the ever-reliable Robinson. They all miss it. And the Willie defenders looked a touch tired there. A warm afternoon here in Melbourne.
Round just arriving to do the ruck work with Dempster. Kick off the ground from Morney. This is Mendy. Charges through, fends off. Oh, Robinson in the van. Beautiful long kick from 60 metres out from Martin Mendy.
You know, isn't he a good player, Martin Mendy? Given a task, he just goes about it with such discipline. Been a tremendous player today. So Bill Swan being interchanged again.
Keith Robinson for his 4th. And that tough assignment brings the second poster of the quarter for Springvale.
Gee, they could be sewing the game up too, Peter. They've had a couple of opportunities.
Martin Mendy ran a long way there.
There's O'Connor coming back onto the ground. And he's taken the mark from the kick-in, so he just wasn't picked up coming off the bench, replacing Swan.
There's big Martin Mendy. Honest, they call him, as the day is long. Played all year, then end up interchange for the finals as the inclusions played very well. Michelli, oh, that was a throw to O'Connor. Aziz, Springvale in trouble. Work it out into the middle, Johansson, tackled by Nickel. Smith's in good position. Ahead of Rickman, who's way out from goal. Easily around Rickman. Clark. Mead. Fistus from Aziz, but it's defensive stuff from Willie at the present.
Yes, Ross, it's all defensive. I just noticed on a couple of opportunities when they had to attack, they were compelled to kick the packs because they've got no running players in support.
14 minutes into the third quarter, Williamstown have kicked just 1 goal since the 26-minute mark of the first term.
And Sam Grant Smith, who is one of their runners, is stuck at full forward at the moment, or in a forward pocket.
Yes.
Strange one.
It's a 33-point lead for the Vales. Beautiful tap from Clark to Prosser. Dempster had it in the sun. Howler. Call came from Gould. Oh, and he loses his head to Malin. He's okay, though. Howlett in short. Well, early on that might have been called 50, but now things have settled down. It's called back. Good long kick from Howlett, and Smith outmarks Mead.
Not a good judge.
Yes, you've been picked up before, Ross, about some of the things you say in the box, but well, he used his body very well, Grant Smith,
so
on a good opponent.
Well, we've seen a few kicks really carry to the Heatley stand in. You might be right with the wind now, Ross. It could be just favouring that end. Williamstown desperately need this one. 33 points down. Grant Smith gets his first goal of the afternoon. Timely, to say the least.
Yes, it is, Peter, but he's tried very hard. He's been very gallant. Smith this afternoon, he's been in for a lot of attention, the classy player that he is, but he's really stuck to his guns and been one of Williamstown's better players, if not the best. But in a forward pocket, obviously the ploy there would be to an alternate avenue to goal, with Rickman being well contained and moving around. They can confidently drill the ball long because he has got a good pair of hands, Grant Smith. He's a big leaper.
And there's another one, Simon Clark. In the way, Gould. Coop with Sleverson. Sleverson bearing down on Coop. Good tackle, Rick Sleverson. Coop still gets foot the ball. Rickman miles out from goal. That's not a good sign. Mendy. Atkins. And maybe hurt, is he? He's all right. The Rover.
You see Smith has gone up the ground with Rickman too. It's a good move. He's been playing him well.
Round taking it out of Dempster's grasp, only as far as Smith. Peacock had to wait and did it brilliantly. He was surrounded. Handball to Maloney. Beautiful pass to Dudley. Using the ball very well, Springvale. And they're wasting no time in doing so. Here's Jeffs, who's come right down the ground.
Yes, he backs himself in, doesn't he? Peter has seen him quite a few times run in and receive a little chip pass. Not the greatest of kicks. This will test him.
The back pocket from 45 metres out. Well, Phil, this is a grand final, And the cream rises to the top in big games.
Yes, you're right there, Peter. And, you know, you've really got to admire Springvale. They do work so hard. The ball carrier's always got a number of options in which to distribute the ball to. And here, Michael Jeffs ran all the way from the back line. The last line of defence. Poor defence by Williamstown, allowing him to slot into the corridor. And they used the ball so very well.
33 points, the margin. 17 minutes gone, third quarter. O'Connor. Rickman lunges after it. Smith's with him. Smith clears to half forward. Michelle's been quiet. May get a kick here. Lloyd comes in. The good shepherd by Lloyd. And O'Connor march at half back. But again has to stop. Yes. It's all stop and start.
Looking for a mark from Aziz from behind. Minot. Sweating on him is Malin. Oh, brilliant. He timed that tackle perfectly.
Wasn't that experienced football by Phil Malin. Didn't give away the free kick. Just kept the hands poised, ready to pounce the minute he picked the ball up.
Backhander by Clark. And another volley from Sleverson. McTaggart, Johansson, now inside 50. Well run down by Jeffs. A chance for Gould. Who puts it through? And there is a roar. It's a Willie crowd, that's for certain.
Well, that's a lot better, that movement. You know, they had players running in support all the time. McTaggart, who's been quiet, onto Johansson, trying to take on Jeffs, but how valiant's Jeffs. He was fortunate that in support was Gould. And that's what they've got to do. They throw caution to the wind, and they've got to have players running, creating options, movement.
37 points separate the sides. 19 minutes gone, third quarter. O'Connor. Nicol sets himself. Aziz had to go defensive. Downward Pastore. Mendy finds Malin. 27 points, sorry, the difference. As the long kick will come back pretty quickly. Morney's there with Michele. Here's Howler. Not a lot for him. He'll just try and make some distance with a kick. Maloney. Met solidly by Minot. Oh, good play. He can get it back again from Pastore. Oh, great handling. Aziz trying to double back on it. Gets into the back of Nicol. Play on, good umpiring. Good hip and shoulder stuff, Pastore and Clark. Round to Sleverson. They're making a bit of a run now, the Seagulls. Rickman, yes. Running into the open goal, Steve Johansson, if he's got the pace.
If it had it connected, you could have been off the ground.
2 in 2 minutes. And the crowd, who certainly are behind the gold and blue, come alive, and it's 21 points the difference. Second for Steve Johansson.
Yes. Sleverson getting involved. Sorry, Phil.
Simon Clark put the foot out. I think Brian Bullis told him that is reportable. And he was lucky he didn't actually trip him. It ended in a goal. You cannot attempt to trip a player. But Willie alive now. Really alive.
21 points. And coming up to the 21-minute mark. Round leaps high over Clark. McTaggart streams from half-back. Couldn't get the run of the ball. The reliable Mead. Malin. Maloney. Good interchange of hand passing. Peacock long to half-forward. Prosser has pace. Out comes Robinson. Prosser in with a chance. Michele, I thought, legged in. Lloyd is desperate. Out to Gould. And the Seagulls not out of trouble yet. It's great stuff in the third quarter. Gould. And finally, Howlett will clear. Or Willie. The pressure put on by Prosser.
Aziz, centre wing. Coop took time to measure the pass to Anderson. Malin, 80 metres out from goal. Putting it high. Who for? Michele. Just wobbling a little bit, Springvale. McTaggart. Howlett can knock it on. Oh, no quarter asked for or given there. Mead met him solidly, and it could end up in a goal. No, Smith runs down Atkins. Mitchell, the back pocket. Round, switching play. Michele starting to come into things off the back line. Pastore out in front of Steve Johansson. Can he get away from Jeffs? Oh, he's got him by the nicks. Holding the man.
Oh, good decision.
Yes, he handballed it down, yes. And that's play on, and then he was held for too long.
Yeah. Bruce Morney it is.
What a bump it was.
Craig Mead, great stuff.
Huge kick from Johansson. There was the bump. And from the kick from Johansson, a fine mark taken by Clark, who's slowing it down, and that's wise.
Out to Peacock. Great few minutes of play. Wide to Coop. Visual courage shown. Poor Barry Round has to rove, and Coop has the legs. Through centre wing. Anderson loose at half forward. He's a beautiful kick of the football. Robinson waiting. There's one in short, Peacock. Here's the lead now from Robinson. Lloyd right with him. McTaggart was held. Minot. Oh, gave one high to Peacock. Robinson's come right out from goal. Into Maloney. Short on to Dempster. Is a fine pass from Maloney. And Anderson says, kick a goal, Graham Dempster.
Well, it doesn't come any better than this, Phil, does it?
Oh, hasn't it gone up a notch, the game? And the crowd's really lifted.
And Dempster puts it through.
Actually, my eyes must be deceiving me.
I could have swore that went through from behind too, Phil.
So did I.
Is any consolation to you?
Well, Howlett caught about 4 metres adrift there.
Wonderful constitution, Dempster, for the game. After being beaten in that first quarter, he stuck to his guns and he's become a very valuable player.
Boys,
at half-forward line.
What about that bump by Craig Mead?
Absolutely magnificent, Ross.
Could be the pivotal point in the game, I think.
Yes. And won the ball back at a difficult time, too, for Springvale.
Bruce Morney back on his feet. He's okay.
Dwyer is the player that's come on for Springvale. A timely interchange, I think, as Clark got it down to Malin. Here's Coop. Robinson, he's backing back. And Lloyd really caught in no man's land there. Had to try and cut the lead off.
What about Phil Malin? Beautiful play in the middle there. There's plenty of blood there.
Wearing one.
That was Minot, I think, the high tackle earlier on.
Well, at the other end, Keith Robinson for number 4. And they've answered that Williamstown challenge, Springvale.
Yes, and how effectively they have answered that challenge. Malin once again featuring prominently. Coop, the running players.
God, Malin is a tremendous footballer, isn't he? He set the play up from the centre bounce there with a beautiful handball. So creative. Here's the general. He's still telling them to stick at their game. It's a tremendous game of football, this. Springvale with the break, but anything possible.
Into time on third quarter. Malin, 19 possessions. The coach. And Bruce Morney looks to be coming off. Craig Mead still with him. Round, a great effort in the ruck to win that one. Aziz struggles on. Rickman fisted away by Smith. Johansson with Jeffs. Johansson does well. Good pressure, Michael Jeffs. High ball. All Williamstown. Oh, and Malin brilliantly fists away to Anderson. Will a goal result from this? Through centre wing, Anderson. Over the top to Coop. Where's Robertson? He hangs back. Lloyd goes forward. Robinson. Oh, Lloyd, brilliant. Mitchell and Dempster getting clear. Michele. Atkins still options. Coop once more. Dempster, McTaggart.
Fantastic stuff.
What a magnificent smother by Phil Malin. You could not see better.
Well, they had 3-1 advantage there.
You should have got a goal out of that too, Springvale.
There's been a 50-metre fade. McTaggart. The story has to prop. Oh, strong mark. The Goss medalists from their last flag in '86. They need to get a goal here as Rickman won't make it. Chipping in is Jeffs. Smith down, but Jeffs back up again.
Just tremendous recovery.
Dudley against 2. Shelley went for the specky.
Gee, Smith's warned Rickman so well. That's why they're not able to feed the ball to him, because he gets into position beautifully. Cuts off the leads, works so hard.
Thank you. Umpire Russo, the bounce, have done a great job, these two. Smith. Prosser intercepts. Malin. Oh, could tackle Smith. Prosser. Oh, Robinson's in good position once more. The ball's coming down so often, he has to be in good position sometimes. Loose is Dudley, but Robinson decides to shoot with plenty of time. 12 marks to the full forward.
Thanks, Brett.
He sure has got sticky fingers. Kick for 2 in this quarter.
Look at those scoring shots too. 13-16. Really, that could cost you a flag. They could have sewn the game up even this quarter. They've had so many opportunities.
34-point lead.
Quick scoreboard here, Phil.
5 goals to 3 as the kick-in goes to Malin.
He's been sensational, Peter. This is one of the truly great games by a playing coach.
And he copped a heavy knock too, Phil, in this quarter. Going to pass off to Coop.
Look at the pass to the right there, if you can see it. Too late.
Well, Malin's still unmarked as well, and he's only about 3 metres closer.
Phil Prosser was on his own.
Well, Coop now passes it to Maloney on his own, and that's a free kick. Well, he charged straight at the front of the player, McTaggart. Umpire saying he didn't make any contact as Mitchell gets the kick towards Leveson, who's held. Against Dwyer, professional free kick.
I think it was a free kick to Maloney.
Yes, I'm with you. Pastore leads the centre half forward. And takes a good mark. Sam, you wanted to move up forward to Pastore. It's been done, been made. Minot shoots, puts it through. Greg Minot for his third. And Pastore is in the middle of this.
Yes, Ross, Pastore's wonderfully strong overhead, but he's got excellent use of the ball. He's quick on the ground. He's got good recovery.
Do you know, it's interesting too that Williamstown are playing nearly all their players up the field, and you see Minot open up here. There are only 2 players on the forward line, Minot and Rickman. And if they spill the ball out, they're really a big chance.
Well, this is Scott Peacock playing in his first grand final, having to watch in between mopping up the blood. A 5-goal to 4 quarter in favour of Springvale. Williamstown giving it all, their all here.
Thanks, fellas.
If they could keep things on an even keel by 3/4 time, they're not without a chance.
They certainly are not, Peter. They can
just claw one back before 3/4 time.
Round is growing in stature, but if that's possible, Clark beat him on that occasion. Dempster, not so clever that time, just gave it to Smith. Here's the veteran, Bill Swan, his 7th VFA Grand Final. Did well there to Rickman. Gone. Sam, being a forward, wants a free kick for Rickman, and he's berating the umpire at the moment, Ian Rickman. Dwyer happy to see it out centre wing.
I thought he could have been in receipt of one there. I thought it was a little bit...
I agree, Sam. It was a rugged one.
Overly indulgent on the behalf of Smith's behalf.
Rickman wipes his face.
Though you must say for the umpires, they put the whistle away in that quarter, and the football was sensational. 5 goals, 4 kicked in that quarter by Springvale. Williamstown kicked 4 goals, 1 for Springvale, 4 to Robinson, and 2 apiece to Dudley, Maloney, Phillips. They're their multiples, while for Williamstown, 3 to Minot and 2 to Rickman and Johansson. It's a 28-point lead for Phil Malin's Springvale after they led by 19 at half-time. I think there's a bit of history to be written yet. Phil Malin, after a sensational personal quarter, getting stuck into the troops.
We have won this game because we have worked harder when we haven't had the ball.
30 minutes more of that.
That's the difference. They have run just as hard with it as we have. But it's when we lost it, we get it back more often than they do. Now, all that is the difference in this game. That is it. Now, what does that take? Does that take a special skill? We spoke about the start of the game.
Well, not so much berating them, I take that back, but just really ramming home his thoughts. And do you agree with his thoughts, Phil Cleary?
Oh, I think so. They've been, I think, a bit tougher in defending the ball, and I think the example would be Malin himself when he had to smother that ball from 3 Williamstown players, and he has led by example. You know, it's a very tense moment, three-quarter time in a grand final. They're so close. They've got a good lead, 3 goals, 9 in front, and a real chance. And there's a lot of tension. But he really has led from the front, Malin, to coin the old cliche, been a great player.
Well, I thought Round also just sort of got a little bit on top of Clark there for a while, and that sort of instigated Williamstown getting back into things. I sensed that when 2 Springvale players at centre-half back flew against one another early in the quarter, that there was a chance there at that period that Williamstown could have got back into it. They missed a goal running down, a bad handball from Michelli, and Springvale then steadied again.
Yes, I agree, Peter, but it was just a sensational quarter of football. The commitment and diligence from players on both sides. And this goal, Malin, you know, he really has been the general out there today, marshalling his troops and, you know, amassed 20 or so possessions himself, and everyone finding a target, and always the right target. Robinson on the end of a lead, I think he's taken some 12 or 13 marks, been a wonderful target up forward, kicking 4 goals, and there have been 4 excellent goals. You know, a long way out. But they've, you know, it was a valid point that he made when he addressed these players, that the difference in the 2 sides is our ability to win the ball when we're defending, and their defensive skills have been excellent, and that's what really wins games. The team-orientated players, when the ball's in dispute or when you ain't got the ball. And they really have worked hard in that facet of the game. But, you know, to Williamstown's credit, at no stage did they give in. They certainly kept chipping away, and another goal I felt would have really given them heart.
Well, they got 2 goals in a minute here. Rickman passing off to Johansson, but Springvale, they answered them straight away.
That was the difference, Peter. Williamstown were really on a run, and look, Williamstown have got the crowd with them too, and when they get a couple of goals, the crowd just...
And this guy's
to
like the Phil McTaggart.
What a bump.
Oh, yeah.
Gee, I'd have been proud of that one.
It's almost reminiscent of the John Nichols days, and Fowler. And Pastores gave them a bit of bite across the forward line. His disposal superb onto Minot, who drilled one through perfectly from about 45 metres, and that brought him within 27 points. And I still really believe, yeah, that Springvale, well, I went for Williamstown, and I still think they're in with a good chance. The statistics, you know, Springvale superior in kicks and marks, handballs Williamstown's way, the free kicks on a par, the hit-outs on a par.
So there's not much in it statistically, Sam, really, is there? But probably Springvale's choices have been a little better, or they've been able to break clear. I'd like to see the tackles, really, because I think Springvale's tackling, as Malin points out, that's won the ball back for them when it's really been, when they've been under pressure.
And what's worried me with Williamstown, there's Barry Round on screen with the Brains Trust, the member of the Brains Trust, Tony Dullard. But what's worried me, Phil, really with Williamstown, on a number of occasions when they've had the ball, they've been compelled, you know, to be held. They've been held up too easily, and they've lost that fluency and movement that they possessed in that first quarter. And guys like Slevis and Smith have, you know, just gone out of the game. O'Connor, he was taken from the field and made a re-entry halfway through that quarter.
Well, they haven't given them very much space, have they? Williamstown like to be able to run the ball around, and they're very neat with the passing. But I see with the stats that Paul supplied us with that Springvale have tackled 20 times to Williamstown's 12. In the course of 3 quarters, that's a fair discrepancy. So I think Springvale just been a bit harder on the ball.
And a couple of those tackles, Phil's, remember through that quarter when Smith on Rickman and one with Jeffs on a couple of occasions. They've really, you know, spilled the ball out of the Williamstown opposition.
And Sam, you liken that bump of Craig Meads to Laurie Fowler. Laurie Fowler, member of Springvale's first premiership side in second division in 1983. So Laurie, if you're watching, he's probably here at the ground. That won't be lost on him. Here's Ross Booth.
Thanks, Peter. Well, I think Williamstown are down to 16 men with Burton off with injured ribs. Bruce Morney has a very glazed look in his eye after that very severe collision with Craig Mead. But for Springvale, Craig Phillips is sitting down on the bench here and having some attention to his knee, so perhaps they're down to 17. And I notice Mead is off too, so that collision was a very costly one for both sides. But as you said, it might have been the turning point in the match. Barry Round didn't sail that much. It's back to, you know, courage and what's left in your legs.
Well, they've switched their side around and endeavour to get back. I see Minor on a half-back flank. They've got Billy Swan in the pocket.
Clark wins the tap to start the last quarter, but O'Connor owes it. McTaggart under it with Maloney. Swooping in is Dwyer. Rides the tackle. Robinson spoilt by 2. And at the fall of the ball, it's Grant Smith. Down the middle he goes towards Aziz. Nicol knocking it to ground. Nicol had some help from who else but Malin. Now Peacock back on the ground after that knock, and here's Jeff Anderson, the super sergeant.
Oh, and is he a dangerous character around the goals?
Well, he's
not beyond him to kick it either, Peter.
Played only 5 games this season, averaging 3 goals a game.
Well,
off the bench.
He loves to put them between the 2 big sticks.
Atkins, a beautiful pass too.
Well, he's deceived us. Well, they take the punt with their passes, don't they?
Well, they're confident in their ability with hand and foot. Atkins here can really kick in the Williamstown can at the start of the last quarter. Breeze won't bring it back enough. Who's it against? It's against Lloyd or Howlett. Oh, that's a brave umpiring decision. Umpire Bullis penalising Williamstown. And it's Graham Dempster, the deputy vice-captain, running around and putting it through.
Well, I guess that's exactly the start Malin would be hoping for, but by the same token, exactly what Williamstown did not want to happen. It was imperative they score the first major for the quarter, and that's really exposed a bit of a gap now, 34 points.
Did you see it? I didn't see that. No, we've missed the free kick, but didn't spot it. There was a pack of players.
Well, they've got to answer that one straight away, the Seagulls. Atkins. Brown trying to get it through to Swan. Pastore did that very well. Nicol faced by Aziz. He's a very cool player, Stuart Nicol. Beautiful kick to Peacock. Malin running clear. Goes for Robinson. Now almost front and back position. Lloyd did very well.
And you notice Malin there put the ball high in the air too to give Robinson a chance. Just didn't carry enough. But again, very good thinking.
There's Craig Phillips. Very pronounced lip. And Craig Mead, the captain, on the bench. Nice tap by Round. Cleared to the middle. It's all Springvale. Maloney out in front of Dwyer. Chased by Pastore. Mendy under pressure. Wide to half forward. Still in play. Michelli.
He's been quiet.
He has, and he looks quiet there. Needs to do something.
Dempster trying to get his own tap. Nowhere for Prosser to go. 4 minutes into the last quarter of VFA football for 1990. A 34-point lead for Springvale. They trailed by 17 at quarter time. A 6-goal turnaround, and they've never relinquished the lead since the second quarter. Coop just took it out. Everything Doug Coop's done, he's done with aplomb today.
After a slow start, he's been a very valuable player.
Round battles on. O'Connor didn't have it. One of the few mistakes by Graham Atkins. Held the whip hand over O'Connor. Minot. Piercing kick. Oh, Smith gets underneath it. Rickman falls thought about going and then said no.
It's interesting, isn't it? Smith has played Rickman from in front nearly every time, and he was just a bit stiff that time. He got the front position, but the ball carried. It was an excellent kick.
Super kick from Minot.
Rickman's kick 2. And so often we've seen him miss kicks or shots at goal. He might well have kicked, Phil.
Yes, it's true.
Anderson took his eyes off it. Good time to recover. Well, it almost came off to Simon Clark. It wasn't the plan. Can he inspire them? The monolith, Barry Round. Clark. Clever kick to get it under the pack, make some distance, just get it out of danger.
You see Phil Malin there too. There's a chance of that would be paid holding the ball. Malin's jumped in and gotten the ball out quick, smart.
Great battle these two have had. Round and Clark. Free going to O'Connor. Rags, easy call. Pretty ineffective stuff. Up to the running Smith. Finally they're clear. Smith towards Rickman. And Smith is there to spoil Howlett a chance. Oh, coming there like a train and giving a free away. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, he got him high, but it's not one that they've been paying all day.
Just Smith's effort there was tremendous, wasn't it? To cut it off, but yes, a poor tackle. This will brighten the game up.
He kicks this, it's back to 27 points. He won't, though. It's back to 32 points.
They're the ones you need when it's tight.
Oh, 7 minutes played. Smith. Now going to Maloney. Kick hooked a little bit, and O'Connor, a good mark against Atkins. He hasn't gone off the straight and narrow, so play on not called. He goes for Rickman or Smith. Smith is sandwiched. Good recovery, Grant Smith. Rickman, he's a past master at that.
That is absolutely sensational tackling by the Springvale players.
Now here's the free kick.
Oh, gee whiz, nothing in it.
It didn't result in a goal, though.
That's from tough man Phil Cleary. Loose to centre field, McTaggart. Willie still a chance. Gould spears it up. Johansson in the way. It's a crowded forward line. Leading to the pocket, Minot and Pastore. The kick is long. Oh, it could go through. It has.
Yeah, superb goal by Johansson.
Third goal to the young fellow.
They've threatened danger. They've had plenty of possession. The ball's been on their forward line for the greater portion of this quarter, but they've just lacked a bit of finishing capacity up forward. A tall marking forward they've lacked in that last line, but on that occasion, good shepherding by Pastore. The foot snap.
I think this could end up a thriller. I just got that feeling.
Well, even though it's 26 points the difference, it is thrilling anyway.
Yes.
And I think the breeze may have sprung up a little bit too.
Well, Johansson has always wanted to get closer to goal in the match so far, but he made plenty of distance with that kick. Pastore to Slevison. He can kick huge goals. He's missed.
Oh. The crowd's going there.
Oh, aren't they ever? Did you see the crowd behind the goals rise as one and wait for that ball to sneak in?
They tried to call it through. Nichols a kick in. Was there a push? O'Connor fights on. Smith was legged. He looks tired as he gets up. Springvale with numbers. Paul Smith felled after he kicked it. Penalty kick downfield to Dudley. The lead from Coop. Oh, Slevison got a touch on it. No mark. Cooper hurried kick. Anderson looks to be dangerous with McTaggart.
Gee, they look a little tired, Springvale. Just a couple of players there. Jeffs looked a bit weary in that contest.
Well, some of those very heavy clashes, the bumping, the tackling, the shepherding has been sensational today. They'll tell.
They'll take their toll, Pete. No worries about that.
Hansen, a big torp. Clark, a kick behind the game. Always hit hard by Smith. He's fired up, Grant Smith, but they're chasing shadows at the moment as Mendy wobbles it to half forward. Atkins. There's just let go of him in time.
Gee, that was lucky, that way that ball carried.
Anderson has led. Robinson and Dempster have stayed back. 2-on-2. Dempster had to go defensive. And it went to McTaggart, so close to Dudley running through. Nowhere for McTaggart to go. He takes on Coop. Minot, front position, but Dwyer takes it away from him. No doubting the commitment from both sets of players out here. Gould got it to McTaggart. Sleverson hemming them in, Springvale. Here's Michelli running out of the back pocket. Smith. Rickman's led into the pocket. He's 20 metres clear. Running straight at him was Mendy. The chance here for O'Connor. A goal!
Oh, sensational, Peter.
The Seagull faithful go wild. First for Marcus O'Connor, and it's 19 points the difference.
And McTaggart did very well in defence. He held the ball up. There was no options offering up further afield till a break finally came, and
I think
O'Connor off the ground.
I think Williamstown will get up.
Oh, there's a big statement. Great spoil by Mendy.
I think they will.
If crowd support counts for anything, they will.
Well, we've had 11 and a half minutes. Brown wins it. Prosser got one high. Kicks without looking. In the way, McTaggart. Quickly onto Howlett. Straight down the middle they go. Out to Aziz, who's in the pocket with Nickel. Oh, Aziz steals it. Gets one high. Breaks clear. Shoots it. Goal. And is pulled through.
Oh, Ross.
Nostradamus again.
Oh, what a revival. And they're getting the ball out of that centre bounce area round.
And Phil Malin is, oh, we see it on screen again. That was a poor effort by Stuart Nickel, and then a poor tackle. And look at the result.
Terrific recovery by Aziz. Oh, this has been a fabulous performance.
Oh, this is going to test Springvale too now, because Willie on a roll can be absolutely lethal.
3 goals, 3 to 1 goal. Williamstown's favour. They've turned it around. Can they keep it going? Clark wins it. Here's Dempster. Everything Williamstown have thrown at Springvale. The Vales have answered today. Atkins and Mitchell.
McTaggart's come into the game on the back flank.
Yeah, been a wonderful contributor, Phil.
Cut Anderson out.
They were almost on the rack, but they just kept chipping away, and now you can just see a new lease of life going through them.
Sam sitting on the edge of his seat. Atkins kicks Springvale forward. Oh, Robinson did very well. Anderson. McTaggart was legged. McTaggart puts it out cleverly. Swan overruns it, recovers. A hand pass to Sleverson. Long he goes. Pastore in front. Nickel pushes him. And a magnificent mark to Pastore. Under extreme pressure. 20th possession to the half forward. The pass for Smith. Space for him over the shoulder. He's just wide. Oh, 2 goals the difference.
Grant Smith, he loves kicking those ones too, and he went about it very confidently.
Just lifted them up forward, haven't they? Smith and Pastore, that touch of class.
And they're running with confidence now, Sam.
And a little more anxiety on the face there of Smith. It's Malin who's clear. O'Connor didn't want to do anything silly. Here's Jeffs. The back pocket on centre wing. Maloney can shepherd for him. A very tired Smith chasing there. Coop spills it. Oh, but Michelli's got into his back. Wasting as much time as possible, Doug Coop. Joined the team this year. Anderson. Oh, they don't want to let him loose.
Oh, look at the...
Well, he's too far out to score.
Look at Malin to the left. Look at Malin to the left.
Yes, he hasn't been picked up. Now Minot goes after him.
Malin would be unhappy about that too.
Robinson's clear, beautiful pass. Oh, great football, Springvale. Under pressure, they are still going for their passes, and they're hitting their target.
Oh, they take a risk, don't they? But their touch is so good. Boy, he needs to kick this one, Robbo, because if he doesn't, Williamstown will get this real sniff again.
Well, distance, no problem. Directly in front. Oh, they've left Maloney unguarded. Cardinal errors made by Williamstown.
I think they're due to miss one of these, though.
Well, I mean, they've kicked 15 behinds. How many do you want them to miss?
Oh, well, Bugsy's kicked a few from here.
29 scoring shots to 22, and they're only 2 goals up. But heaps of pressure on Maloney. And he's true with the kick, his 3rd goal. Oh, just a steadier when it was required halfway through the last quarter.
He's a rock-solid player, Maloney, isn't he? Under pressure.
Michelle's man was that, Phil. Bit of inexperience in the back.
Yes. Well, he's had an ordinary day, Wayne Michelle. Likes the attacking football. What a great game we're seeing. Sam, excited?
Absolutely superb, Phil. I'm at the end of my chair.
Almost speechless, Sam.
I am speechless.
It's a big chair you're on, too.
There's the Springy bench with Craig Mead, the captain, on the right. Phillips on the left with the injured knee. 16 minutes gone. Molan out of the middle, but it's a poor kick, though. Coop is underneath it. Let it bounce. Atkins to Coop. Interception by Mitchell. Back to Atkins. Into Anderson. And McTaggart gets a fist in there.
Ooh, every possession's loaded now, isn't it? Every possession you get is so critical to the outcome of the game now.
Round has done it solo today. He's against Dempster this time. No free kick for Sleverson. Coop likewise. He'll have to earn them. And Dempster will now do the ruck work again against Round.
They're definitely kicking with the breeze, Williamstown, I'd say, Ross. You're the breeze expert, or the wind expert.
Yes, it's got up a bit, Phil, I think. They're playing on adrenaline, Williamstown. Sleverson. Atkins won't let that out.
Oh, dear.
Mitchell quickly on.
He would have had to have dug a tunnel to get that ball out.
He would have needed more than his shovel.
A wide option, perhaps a better one would have been in the middle, because it's now stop-start. High ball, Clark from the back. Well roved, Minot. Bennett creative half forward. Rickman! Crowd roars. Aziz one out with Smith in the goal square.
I think he'll kick this, Ross.
Well, I have to, because Aziz led.
From
Rickman
60.
wasn't ready. Bang goes the kick.
And that was a mistake by Simon Clark in the centre of the ground. Ross, he should have punched that ball hard back into play, back into the forward line. Chose to try to mark it.
Well, they've just got to bury this ball in the forward line now, Williamstown. They've just got to man up.
18 minutes gone, 17 points the difference. Smith! But the Rovers are Springvales. It's Anderson just going for the boundary. Educated kick from the experienced Jeffs Anderson.
Ooh, pay that out of bounds on the full if you dare, umpire.
And Smith paying a little bit of the penalty for the big jump.
Late afternoon sunshine at Princess Park. Molan underneath that one. Holding the ball, is it? Umpire Russo says no.
Just as well.
Would have brought the house down.
Wouldn't it ever?
18.5 minutes gone. Springvale, premiers in 87, Williamstown 86, and Coburg the last 2 years as Williamstown have been the losers. Will it be their 3rd successive loss? Oh, Freedom McTaggart. Oh, Molan gives it to him rather quickly.
Gave it to his bottom rather than his hands.
McTaggart still took it.
How did McTaggart see it coming? Eyes in the back of his head.
To centre forward, Pastore, can he mark? Nickel, Smith with the injured shoulder. Out to Rickman, long way from goal. Another soccer kick cleverly off the path of Sleverson.
Oh, great play.
O'Connor paddle. Gould. Willie showing all their brilliance late in the final term. Oh, over the top, a brilliant spoil by Martin Mendy.
That was desperation from Mendy, wasn't it? Just leapt across the pack.
The viewers don't know, Sam's nearly knocked me straight out of the chair. He's gotten that excited. Oh, with that bit of play, wasn't it sensational?
Clark, 2 palms it only as far as O'Connor. And the throw-in's very handy.
Oh, what would a goal to Williamstown do to the crowd, Ross, here?
Well, Malin, number 11, just marshalling the troops.
And Smith's limping with a bad knee.
Brown tried to grab it out of the ruck. We've seen him do that before. And the inspirational goal, whoever it comes from, could be enough to set Willie rolling again. Springvale answering them at the moment. O'Connor nowhere to go. Oh, well, umpire Bullis has played that all day, and O'Connor really had no time. Minor put pressure on Nicol, but he was good enough to take the mark and find Dwyer. Oh, they've got the loose man now. Peacock had to sit under it and allow Smith to hold him up. Just let him go in time. Lloyd in front of Robinson. In comes McTaggart to assist. Anderson's tap on. Atkins caught. Gould weaves his way through. Johansson. What's on centre wing? It's Rick Sleverson, who was clean bowled a moment or two ago. Has to make clean possession here if he can. No, it was a difficult one in the end. It bounced straight at him, and he was at full pace.
Atkins could nearly have received a holding the man penalty there too.
Yeah, I thought he just controlled the ball, Phil.
21 minutes gone. How can Barry Round keep going at 40 on the bigger Princes Park? Here they go again, the Seagulls. Gould to Swan. Oh, missed the target. Swan runs hard at it. Gets around on. Doesn't go through the legs of Nicol. And he's going to get a free. Billy Swan. Mendy legged him.
Held on to him, Ross.
Might it go short. Pastorius loose in forward pocket. 21.5 minutes gone. 17 points the difference. Springvale lead.
And anything is possible in this game. Anything.
Yet to goal, but been a creative forward in the second half. Breeze behind him.
Well, do you notice that they've all missed on the left-hand side in the last 10 minutes? The shots at goal, that Bruce
must be very tricky out there.
Yes, it right across the face there, and players haven't allowed for it. Some very anxious-looking Williamstown supporters. They'll be hoping this ball goes out before Jeffs can touch it. He's kept it in. The boundary umpire is in perfect position. Jeffs brilliant. Coop the fly. Oh, a strong mark from Michelli. Sleverson on the wing. Malin won't get there in time to put him off, but he'll want to hold him up if he can.
Quick.
Yes, they have to get it moving now. It's a desperate situation. Rickman judged that beautifully.
Well, they need this one desperately.
Well, he's in within range, and he's on the right side to kick this. He's a right footer, and the breeze will bring it from right to left. Ian Rickman has to kick this goal if Williamstown are to win the game. They're alive! Rickman's third.
The magical boot of Ian Rickman, Phil, once again comes to the Towner's rescue.
And, well, see, they've made a mistake there, Ross. You see that Stuart Nicol was picking up Rickman for a period of time there, and Smith took as is, and now I see Smith's gone back out to Rickman, but really you can't afford to let him slip.
Well, Smith's, I've noticed earlier, he's got a bad knee, he's propping.
Yes, he is too, Sam.
24 minutes gone. 10 points the difference. Swan. Here comes Aziz, crashes. Through with a magnificent and courageous mark. Smith. If Craig Mead showed great courage, that was his equal.
Oh, did your heart flutter then? Well, that was brilliant.
Smith plays on to Malin. Steadying kick wide to Peacock. It's not out. Gould inboard to the running McTaggart. That didn't work. Sleveson's under pressure. Smith held without the ball.
Oh, yes, good decision.
It was there.
He ran straight into Malin without the ball.
Rickman out in front. Could just have the edge on his front at Smith. They both are lumbering after it.
Well, if any man was going to win a game, this is the fellow to do it.
The man on the mark is 53 metres out. Rickman will have to kick it over 60 metres.
Oh, I think he'll get the distance. He'll just pull something big out. Seen him do it before. No, I don't think he's
26 minutes gone. Rickman gets fifth. Fourth it is. That's 4 points the margin.
Well, I'm speechless, Ross. This has been a sensational game.
And I think they'll win it too now. They're really alive.
Well, how fitting it that Rickman should be the man that gives them the chance to win their grand final after 2 consecutive losses. His second crack at VFL football cut short by injury. He's come back and kicked a monster.
And they've won the ball out of the centre on 4 occasions by comparison to Williamstown's 1 in this quarter.
They're running better too, Sam. They look really alive.
Brown wins it. Mendy's sandwiched. Knock from Peacock. Good play to Anderson. Here's Maloney. Oh, Lloyd doing well, but Robinson better. What a mark.
Oh. Yes.
Well, the other spearhead now has the chance to win the game, you'd think.
Oh, he's kicking into the breeze.
This just superb use of the body and judgment. And skill, not to mention the one-handed mark.
26 minutes have ticked by. Keith Robinson looking for his 5th. It'll go further away. It's out on the full.
So they'll have possession, Williamstown. Now is where they need the legs and runners. They've just got to spread the ball quickly.
Kick in by Gould. He's gone wide. Was that a good option? Smith?
Oh, he's lifted Smith.
Grant Smith. Nearly 27 minutes gone. 4 points down are Willie. Jeff's in the way. Mendy.
Oh, great tackle
by Slevison.
Oh, you.
Sam.
Settle down, Sam.
So it's high on Mendy.
Who have you got your money on, Sam?
No one,
Philip. Excited.
No one at all. I think it's a wonderful game of football.
Mendy steady and kick wide towards Dempster. In front of Howlett. Howlett the fist.
How much time on, Ross?
A couple more minutes.
Gee, they've kicked a few goals. 2, 4, 6, 7 goals for the quarter.
30 scoring shots to 26. And Springvale lead by 4 points. They're looking to bottle it up. Brown, the warhorse, only as far as Atkins. Oh, good bump coming in there from Dudley. Mayland looking to waste time. Holding the ball, it's a good decision. The tackle was initiated before it was out of bounds. Gould's kick, Minot. Has he got some support? Michelli running straight at it. Taking over now. It's Billy Swan. Rickman's clear. 75 metres from goal. He must get around Smith. He's done that. McTaggart's the player he's looking for.
Oh, and he can kick a ball too, Peter.
He's got the breeze directly at his back here. Brett McTaggart, a Liston medalist, passes it off to Bill Swan, who's not such a long kick. But in his 7th grand final, he can win the game for his adopted club, Williamstown.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe, really hard to imagine that it's all happened. Springvale seem to have the game won. What a kick. What a kick for Bill Swan.
What a hit!
Well, who could have predicted this? Have a look at the scenes. And Rickman did very well.
He had to get around Smith and the little chip pass. And McTaggart, aware of the situation, 10 metres closer was Swan, and the best kick of his life is right through the middle. And they're 2 points in front. We've played 29 minutes. Williamstown back from the death. Round again. Malin, it's the captain coaches doing it in the middle. Slevison chasing Peacock for all he's worth. Dwyer's kick off the ground. This time, Williamstown will be hoping it runs out. And Gould takes it out. A fairy tale being written here by Williamstown. 33 points down. The siren to sound any second. And they're 2 points up. Hit the boundary will be the call. Willie fans, and that's almost deliberate.
That's the same thing.
Well, he never took possession, though. We're going to probably have another 30 seconds, I think. They double team round. Anderson knocks on. The experienced players coming in. What scenes as Williamstown in one of the greatest grand finals played in the oldest football competition in Australia. And Barry Round takes them to the Premiership Cup after consecutive losses. And I'm not telegraphing anything in letting you know that Barry Round is the Norm Goss medalist for 1990. No one deserves it more. One of the greatest players the game has produced, and this would be his greatest moment, even greater than a Brownlow and Liston medal.
Yes, Peter, it's a remarkable game, been a remarkable game, and it's fitting, I think, that Barry Round should be the man to hold the cup aloft in 1990 after 2 defeats to Coburg the last 2 years, and what a remarkable last quarter by Williamstown.
And do you think Billy Swan will forget his last kick?
Well, you are dead right, Sam. His last kick, he will retire after this game. It is just unbelievable.
Fairy tale stuff.
And you've got to feel for Springvale. They made the running after quarter time. They led by 19 points at half-time. They turned the game around by 6 goals in that second quarter. They got it out to a 33-point lead. But Williamstown, well, I think I'm safe in saying the greatest performance in the history of this club, who joined the competition in 1884, have written history here today at Princes Park.
From a seemingly hopeless position too. They were never out of the game in terms of the scoreboard, but in general play they looked miles apart at times. They could have been absolutely put away at the end of that second quarter.
All right, it's a trifle hard to comprehend, Peter, isn't it? We've really been put through 4 quarters of magnificent football, with Springvale appearing to have all the answers. At any time when Williamstown fought back, Springy kicked a goal, but look at that, 2 points, and look at that crowd at Princes Park. That's
final
wonderful.
Score, and that's one that will be remembered by all VFA fans for a long time, but by none more so than the Seagull faithful, and they're swamping Barry Round, who's with Ross Booth.
Well, Barry, you've won the Norm Goss medal as well. Fantastic. How does it feel? I've got to ask you that. Sensational. I think there's a few that thought we couldn't get back up, but you know, we just kept on going and showed the great character. It's a great club, Williamstown, and we never gave in. It was terrific. Terrific, Barry. Go. We'll talk to you later. Go for the celebration. Barry Round, the Norm Goss medalist.
Well, before the game, I spoke to Jerry Callahan, one of the greats of Williamstown, coached them to premierships. The monster he was known as.
Well, was he a character, Peter?
Well, he, I'm sure, will be full of admiration for what the modern-day Seagulls have done. This is something to remember for all time.
Peter, when you go through it, if you tried to pick all their good players, you'd probably say that most of the prime movers were really out of the game, so that makes it an even more remarkable finish. To think that they should get up, Sam, like that, without a lot of those players really dominant. Billy Swan, quiet and interchange, but to come back, Billy, and kick the goal, that's a great effort, my friend. I thought you're a bit lucky to play, but I take my hat off to you, because that's a great performance.
There he is. I think you might have seen a tear or two there from Bill Swan.
Yes, been a great VFA career. Yes. One of the best centremen ever to play in the VFA.
He's played in 4 winning grand finals for Port Melbourne.
I must
experience one with Williams.
I must confess, Phil, it's the longest kick I've seen Billy Swan ever execute.
Here's Ross Booth.
Well, we've got Jack Aziz down here, and Jack, you're very exhausted.
Yeah, very exhausted. I think I'm still recovering from that Coburg game, but I'm
I just very sore.
What was the problem early on? You're holding your stomach.
Actually, I got winded in the first quarter there, but the legs had just given up on me as soon as I got winded.
No, really, did you believe you had a chance at three-quarter time? It didn't look on the faces.
I know. We always come back fairly good in the third and fourth quarter, so we thought just keep flogging it out, we should be right. Yeah, finally did it. Great.
Okay. An exhausted Jack is the key centre-half forward.
So we have a party tonight, Jack.
Well, I'm sure the whole of Williamstown are out in the streets now. The car horns will be going in the main street. If they can drag themselves away from the television, that's probably going to be difficult, but they'll be pinching themselves.
And there'll be a couple of days celebrating, Peter. The next, well, it won't be a couple of days. I think it'll be a couple of weeks down Willie Way. The place will be alive.
Picture this scenario. If the unthinkable happens next week and Collingwood win.
Well, yeah, what a combination.
We must remember the administration have done their part at Williamstown. They've had disappointments in the last 2 years, but they've won their 5th grand final in 6 appearances. And here's the president, Tony Hanbury.
Tony Hanbury, great disappointment, but now it's all come true.
I just resigned myself to being a lovely good loser again, as I always am.
When did you resign that? When to that?
When they were 4 or 5 goals in front, and I thought, oh, well, just not our day. But they just kept going. And I don't know what happened, but they scored goals. And
we didn't know what happened,
and now we won 2 out of 4, isn't that right? So that's not bad. Or 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5, yeah, terrific. And what poetic justice for Billy Swan to kick the winning goal, because some people said he shouldn't have been selected.
Well, there you are. He was nearly going to come off too. He'd torn his hamstring, the leg that he used to kick the goal. And he's kicked it further than he's probably kicked in his life, and it's gone right through the middle.
So the revival of the Western Suburbs, I reckon you've almost got a tear in your eye. I reckon Terry Wheeler would have one too.
Look, I'm sure everyone in the Western Suburbs would have tears in their eyes. This is classic Williamstown stuff. This is stuff that dreams are made of, like that Van Halen song. And today it's all come true for a lot of guys who work very hard. So from the committee's point of view, it's wonderful. And from the supporters' point of view, it's fantastic. But for those guys, it's just sensational.
Great, Tony. Tony Hanbury, the president of Willie. We might try and find Billy Swan.
Well, the Premiership Cup, the first Main Nicholas Cup. There's Chris Burton there, who took no further part in play after about 5 minutes when he was injured, talking to Barry Round. But the inaugural Main Nicholas Cup to be presented by a great VFA man, patron of the competition in John Kane. Preston's #1 ticket holder, but I'm sure he's a Williamstown supporter tonight.
Yes, he has been a great supporter of the VFA.
Both clubs, the Williamstown Springvale, a great performance. Barry, to you, congratulations to Williamstown, captain and coach, and a great game, one we'll all remember. Well done.
Well done, Barry Round.
The crowning achievement on a monumental career.
What a career it's been.
Well, who's to say? Well, it's his last game.
You can't stop him. That is just remarkable.
He just defies all logic, doesn't he?
The manager, Victorian manager of Wards Express, who will now announce the winner of the Norm Goss medal.
Thanks, Darren. On behalf of Wards Express and Main Nicholas, I know this is going to be a very popular choice. I take great pleasure in awarding the Norm Goss medallion and the Wards Express man of the match to Barry Round. Congratulations to Barry Round.
Well done, mate. You did well.
To the victor, the spoils. Now here's the man who won the game off his own boot.
Bill Swan, how do you feel? Fantastic kick. Ian Rickman said you'd never kicked that far in your life.
Yeah, that'll be the furthest I've ever kicked the ball. Just can't believe it.
How's your hamstring feel?
No, it's good as gold, man, good as gold. Just unbelievable.
Terrific. How many VFA premierships is that?
5 now.
5. What a great effort. And shots quickly.
I think.
Great effort by Paul Smith on you.
Yeah, he stuck to his guns all day, but you know, it's the game's never over until the siren goes, and we just proved that today. You know, everyone thought we were gone. Springvale thought they had it won at three-quarter time, I reckon, and we've just pinched it. And it's bloody, after losing the last 2, mate, I tell you what.
Still feels good, does it?
Oh, mate, you've got no idea.
Grant Smith, how are you? We thought, you know, you took time to take that big mark, hurt your shoulder, but you fought back courageously.
No, it's a great win. Great win by the boys, and we're celebrating this weekend, Willie, mate. No worries.
I sure will. I'll see if we can find Brett McTaggart. Don't think I've got much hope, though. Chris Burton, here he is. Chris Burton, how are your ribs, my boy?
feeling a little bit better now, but disappointing way to come into it, but it's a great way to finish the years.
What happened?
Just got a knee off duds. I don't think he really meant it, but one of those things that happen in footy. But a premiership's a premiership. They feel a lot better now.
Terrific. And hockey celebration of Willie tonight?
Yeah, I reckon all the umpires are invited, and also to tell Sammy Kekovich and Phil Cleary to come down too.
I'm sure they'll be there.
And they're playing in the town tomorrow, Monday.
Okay, they're playing the town, so I'm sure it'll be a great night in Williamstown tonight.
A special cheerio to my sister at Ballarat, and also Dennis at the Hawthorn in Barker's Road, Q.
I'll give the Melbourne City Council a plug too, Hoggy.
Yes, well, our favourite trainer, Hoggy, just toweling down Ross Booth there amongst the champagne frivolity. Well, with me, men who've seen a lot of football, Sam Kekovich and Phil Cleary, you ever seen a game like that?
I don't think I have, Peter. I'm still trying to come to terms with the fact that Williamstown have won the game. If ever the game looked won and truly won, it was today. Springvale seemed to have it, and yet Willie have got it, and it'll be a remarkable night in Williamstown, I can tell you.
Hear your thoughts shortly, Sam, but Brett McTaggart's with Ross Booth.
Well, Brett, I mean, if it weren't for Rowdy, I think you would have been man of the match. You've been so close so many times, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, no worries, Bert. They've got a little Toyota at home I drive around, so that gets me around. So.
And again, you played a fantastic game, especially that last half.
I don't know, I just kept running. I thought we were in a bit of trouble there, but I just kept running and things paid off, which I suppose because Grand Finals are about. So
you looked so flat at three-quarter time. Yeah. It was amazing that we were able to get up.
Yeah, it was a funny game. We started well, and Springvale come back pretty hard. So I know, I suppose we're pretty fit, so we just.
Okay, grab the cup, Brett, and hold the cup to the cameras. There it is, Brett McTaggart with the cup.
Sam, quick comment.
Oh, just a sensational game and a fitting and a great climax to a wonderful year for the VFA.
Yes, Sam, I must reiterate those words. The best home and away season for a long time, and the final series, well, we thought